You may know the home of the Cancel This studio is located at the all-inclusive private jet hangar Strategic Air Services. Founded in Chesterfield, Missouri, they take pride in offering a meticulous approach to private aviation through services that fully manage your trip from takeoff to landing. Strategic Air Services is more than just storage for your aircraft. They offer state-of-the-art amenities to its members and guests. When you are not traveling, you have the luxury of enjoying their world-class gym, conference rooms, lounges, and so much more. Strategic Air Services offers an unparalleled luxury experience for all things private aviation. If you're looking for a new place to call home for your aircraft, give them a call today at 636-400-7601. Again, that's 636-400-7601, or visit their website at strategicairservices.net.
If you are having a bad day at work, I can help. Hi, this is Curtis Barks with Complete Auto Body and Repair. We just expanded to Cottleville and St. Peters and are looking for qualified automotive and auto body technicians that would want to work in a climate-controlled environment. That's right, we offer a fully climate-controlled, air-conditioned and heated facility in both Cottleville and St. Peters. Visit us at CompleteAB.com. If it's not perfect, it's not complete. Others can't compete with Complete Auto Body.
Dad, and service!
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixes cars!
Kathy O. Big Strick, owner of Experience Real Estate Partners with eXp, has been one of St. Louis, Missouri's highest selling groups for 26 years running. In that time, Kathy and her team have successfully assisted an incredible 4,000 families. So if you're thinking about buying, building, or selling, be sure to put Kathy's group and their experience to work for you, and you can expect to be moved. Just give her a call at 314-276-SOLD. That's 314-276-7653, or find her online at experience-re.com.
So are you ready to be the grill master this summer? Well, look no further than Pixie Dust Seasoning. Our custom seasoning blends will take your barbecue to the next level. With 9 different blends to choose from, you will have the perfect flavors for any meat or veggie. And the best part is, our seasonings are low sodium and healthy, so you can indulge guilt-free. Whether you're hosting a big party or just cooking a late-night dinner, Pixie Dust Seasoning is the secret ingredient that you would thank us for. So head on over to our site at www.pixiedustseasoning.com to see our store locator, and I'm sure we'll have a store near you.
And when you visit the site, be sure to use the code name Vic so they know you came from CancelThisShow.com. Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, if you don't know, is a family-owned business that has been around since 1994, serving some of the best chicken wings in town, no joke. Also known for their fresh burgers, pizza, and incredible smoked meat. Top-notch happy hour specials are included, plus live music every Friday and Saturday. Oh yeah, you can also enjoy their spacious heated covered patio. It's Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, 18,000 Chesterfield Airport Road. Hey guys, welcome to the show. Appreciate you jumping in for CancelThisShow.com. Thanks for jumping on our chat line already this morning on this Thursday, March 16th. Scotty Gherkin getting everything going. The Swiss knife, the sack, as we talk about. It's a good thing.
That's still my favorite, the sack.
Scotty the sack.
Swiss Army knife. Woo!
That was stressful.
Or for those who spell knife with an N, we could call you the sand.
You make it look easy.
No.
Have we confused you, Tabitha? Lizzie Sparks here doing her thing.
I've just
on
been
the
silenced.
Chat line.
Scotty had me silenced.
Tabitha Hassel, I'm Vic Faust. The great thing is we're a live show, but we're also a podcast Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. So we deal with everyday issues. We got this brand new kick-ass high-speed internet rocking through our facility. And of course, the first time that you deal with that, you got to get everything set up. So we start the podcast just a couple minutes late. And the great thing about that is it's not a real big deal. So we appreciate you jumping in.
Are we going to take Mike Todd's advice and take it an extra 13 minutes after the show?
Yeah, sure.
To make up the time?
We do whatever we need to do. And
Because we are our own bosses. Well, you're the boss, technically.
It's not like you started. Where's it at, Scott? There it is.
She did a better one yesterday, and I forgot to go back and find it.
We're going to take it 13 more minutes, Vic.
That's right.
Tabitha, how do you feel this morning?
I'm tired, but outside of that,
You're
every
tired?
day.
I'm tired too. I didn't go to bed till late.
What were you out doing?
For the-
Carousing?
For the fourth
Nothing.
straight day in a row, what does Tabitha say? I'm tired.
I am.
I'm tired.
I've been working like till midnight every night.
There it
I'm
is.
exhausted.
I'm finishing your quote for you now.
Thank
every
you
day.
for doing that.
Hey, jump in, canceltheshow.com.
Sponsor the show so I can have one less job.
Advertise. Yes. Thank you. We appreciate it. Tabitha Hassel and I'm Vic Faust, Eric Johnson on his way in. Okay. Coming up in about 30 minutes, Mark Schmitz is going to join us in the studio. He called us before. We told him to keep in contact with us. He is the father of Jared Schmitz, who was murdered by a bomb at the Kabul airport in Afghanistan. We asked him to keep in contact with us about briefings and meetings that he was having. Well, he had one. And of course, I still couldn't imagine going through this with the information or lack thereof for our United States military, which we love and we have to believe in, but you're not getting information, especially when we just found out this last week that, oh yeah, there was a member of a branch that came out and said he had his sights on and could have taken out the person who set the bomb off and was told no, he was not given the permission to take out the target. And of course, we lost 13 American lives shortly thereafter. So Mark Schmitz will be on 8:45 to talk about that. All kinds of the banking industry continues to be one of those issues that we have talked about. Still trying. The guest that we had that we were trying to get him for today, he got sick. I was going to do dinner with this guy. He couldn't even do dinner.
Arkansas.
He's on a Arkansas.
They don't want him to talk about the banking industry.
He was on an IV last night.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
That's how sick he got. Anyway,
Poor thing.
We may have a different one tomorrow, so we'll be talking about that. I just found it interesting that you were saying that you were hearing, I'm hearing this, Vic. I've got this and that.
But somebody,
where are people putting their money?
I'm not doubting the person that was going to call in because I'm sure they're absolutely a fantastic financial person. But anyone who works for a large corporation can never tell us the truth because they cannot lose business.
What's the truth?
The truth is we're in a lot of trouble.
And all banking people know that?
I think they do, yes.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Because
I don't think they can say it. If we had somebody on from a U.S. Bank right now or wherever bank, I think that they're going to say, oh, things are good. Don't take your money out. Everything's fine.
No. But so you're saying people should take their money out.
I don't know.
When you say that, you don't realize.
You know why? Because here's my thing, Vic. I've said this numerous times. I am not a financial person. Remember back when I was so into crypto and I bought all this crypto and
I remember.
I was like loving crypto. And when the crypto market started crashing, I said, I'm not selling my crypto. I'm hanging in there. If we all just hang in there, everything will be fine. Well, guess what? I lost pretty much all my crypto because I wanted to stand strong. I didn't want people to panic and sell, but they did panic and they did sell. And much like the pyramid scheme the bank is, crypto is the same way. And the last man standing inside the bank is the one who loses their money. And that's
a good point.
And that's what happened to me when it came to crypto. And I don't want that to happen to people when it comes to banking. And the only thing I'm hearing from people that I know is that they're saying that people are panicking. There is a run on the banks. People are taking their money out. I'm hearing that investors with millions of dollars, for whatever reason, I don't understand, and I wish someone would tell us, is they're taking their money out of other banks and they're putting it in Bank of America. I don't know why. I don't know what Bank of America has that other banks don't have.
Nothing.
But they must know something that I don't know if they're doing this. It's like big corporations taking millions of dollars out of their own bank accounts and putting in
Bank of America. Well, Bank of America has gotten behind a lot. I mean, a lot. And that's fine if they are, but a lot of
It's a very liberal bank.
Yes, that's
We're
very
taking
liberal
our money
cause.
out of there.
I took my money out of there
Yeah.
because they are such a liberal bank
Mhm.
and they watch everything we do. But maybe that's why they're going to be the last bank standing.
I still think by the time we get to 2024 crypto, it's crazy. I'm not a financial expert. I think it's going to go down and I think it's going to get back up. I'm telling you right now.
I've still not sold.
Don't.
I've not.
I think it's going to take a dive.
It took a dive.
I think it's going to
took a dive.
Well, Bitcoin was up 10%. Crypto was up 10% on Monday.
I know, but think about this.
I do
Bitcoin
believe,
was
Tabitha,
so low.
Tabitha,
At one point,
hang
it was
in there.
$60,000.
Hang in there.
So is this what you're telling people? Or is this your advice for the bank?
Tabitha, hang in there. Let's talk in 2024.
Don't panic or we're going to run out of toilet paper.
Yeah. Oh, God, dear God.
I don't think people should panic about the bank, and I'm not taking my money out of the bank. I haven't, but when I was telling myself that last night,
Sherry Adams, I just looked down.
Yeah.
XRP 100%.
I had some of my crypto in what was it, Voyager. A lot of it. Voyager went under.
Pete saying sell.
I know. I think you're probably right, Pete.
And Gordon does agree with me. It literally is like the toilet paper thing.
Yes.
It really is. As Gordon says, it's like toilet paper.
Everybody's got an opinion.
They have created panic.
I absolutely couldn't agree more. And that but the problem is that we in this room could sit here and say don't panic like in the crypto market, and I'm holding on to my money, so everybody else should too. But those people don't hear us or care what we think, and they're taking their money
Doesn't
out.
matter. You do what you do.
Well, and then you lose your money
Not necessarily.
sometimes
Because government's going to take control of this somehow, some way.
Oh, good Lord. Who are you today?
I'm just telling you.
The government's going to take control.
They
We're gonna
are.
save the day.
That's just
that
what we
government.
need. You know what? It is.
Tabitha, hang in there.
Now you know to take your money out. Vic's being
Okay.
sarcastic. Take your money out of the bank. Take it all out. Run.
This
Go put
will
it under your
be-
bed. Tell me where it is.
This will be recorded in our library with all of our podcasts that you can go back, check out, like, subscribe, share. Tabitha, I'm telling you, I think you'll be happier in 2024.
With my crypto. Is there something
with
you
your
know that I
crypto.
don't know?
I'm just saying. I'm telling you, just trust me.
I don't even look at it anymore. It just sits there. I
As-
don't even care.
Hang in there, girl. We're going digital current.
We are going digital
I've
currency.
been
That's
telling-
what this is all about.
I've been telling people about this on this show since we started. We are going digital. It's clear. There's a lot of things in this world I don't understand. There's other things I think I do. This is one of them. I think it's clear as day we're going digital. And if we're going digital, you want to be on the right side of the situation when it comes to some of the crypto, which is why I'm saying hang in there. Hang in there. Hang in there, Tabitha.
I will if Voyager gives me some of my money back.
Yeah. Okay, we got it. This is
I was a
cancel this.
BTT millionaire for a short time.
Or are you talking about this now?
Do you know what BTT is? BTT is a crypto that I really bought heavily into. And at one point, meaning a BTT millionaire doesn't mean I had $1 million. A BTT millionaire means I had over 1 million BTT
Okay.
coins. If that makes sense. Because
Okay,
I bought
it
it at
does.
0.000.
I thought you were going to talk about another situation with bank accounts that you have, but I guess that's not what you meant.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
And we're
no.
still not talking
I
about
don't need
that,
the
right?
government coming after me today.
Is that all? Is that a situation that's still active?
It has not been resolved yet.
Okay. That's all we need to say. And maybe at some point in time, you'll be able to talk about it on this live show, this live podcast, and everything that's going on with that, because
Yes.
it is fascinating.
Yes, it is.
I find this interesting. Scotty, if you can get I didn't see he was on the phone.
That's
Anyway.
probably why there's no money in the banks. They're making big mistakes.
Well, we know that there's a lot of just stuff going on all over the place. We know that and we're just trying to keep up with everything. And by the way, even when you get a financial expert to talk about what's going on, one, as Tabitha says, it may be a situation where you're not going to get all the news. Two, I don't know if they really understand what to do. I don't know if they have the best advice. I'm not sure there's a financial person that's going to tell you and know 100% what the best thing to do is.
Well, because it's a mixed bag, because people don't want to tell you to panic and take your money out. But then at the same time, they might be taking their money out, because banking it truly is like a pyramid scheme. I know people might want to say that's not true, but it absolutely is true. If you are the last man standing in the bank, guess what? You're not going to get your money, because the FDIC doesn't have enough money to cover everyone.
No, it's true. I get it.
And I'm not saying people
You've
should
talked
panic
about it.
or take their money out. It's a really tough situation. I don't want to tell anyone what to do when it comes to their money.
That's why I'm only telling you what to do, Tabitha. I'm not telling anybody else. I know you. Keep your crypto money. Keep your
I
crypto
will, but what
money.
about my real money?
I'm out
What
of
do I
that.
do with my real money?
Put it in
Do
crypto.
I keep it? Do I put it under my bed?
Put it in crypto.
I mean, what do you do?
Crypto.
Put it in crypto?
Yeah. Put it
You've been
all
talking
there.
to somebody. We're going to talk after the show.
Put it in crypto. So Scotty, when you get a chance, could you, we have to get into Kamala Harris,
Oh,
Stephen
Cammy.
Colbert. This was awesome. And I don't know it's because Stephen Colbert isn't relevant anymore, or he's trying to get numbers, or he realizes that the administration that we have is not qualified to be there.
Even before he became a political turd, I just don't like him. He's like, there's nothing about him that's entertaining.
He's Canadian,
true.
isn't he?
I don't even know. I don't care.
He doesn't care.
I've just never liked him. Like, it's just like,
Well, he really turned into that political situation, as you say. It's unfortunate. He was supposed to be a comedian, and he was funny at one point in time, and then he turned political. Super talented dude, super talented. And then they turn into the political monster. Well, I thought this was fascinating. For whatever reason, Kamala Harris did his show. She thought it was going to be an easy interview, and guess what? It didn't turn out to be that way, and she doesn't show exactly how intelligent she is as Colbert goes after her for what exactly does a vice president do as part of their daily work. Here's Colbert.
I do. I love him. Is it accurate?
There are bits of it that are actually quite accurate.
One of the themes of the show is that her character, Selena Meyer, is frustrated by the sometimes vague duties of the role. Like it's a high constitutional office, but it's not prescribed so much about what you're supposed to be doing. Does that ring true? Like what is the actual role on a daily basis as you have found it?
Well, I have the great privilege of serving with Joe Biden, who is president of the United States. He is an extraordinary leader, and I wish that people could see what I see, because there's only one person who sits behind that resolute desk. And the decisions that that person has to make are the decisions that nobody else in the country can make. And he's an extraordinary leader. Really is. Really is.
That's an excellent answer. And the question was, what is the job of the vice president? And your answer is part of the job, I'm guessing.
I mean,
What is her job? Other
That
than
was-
to cackle and look silly.
and she was so uncomfortable when he asked. She immediately goes, the president's the best guy in the world. But you know, out of all of that, besides not answering the question, what I thought was fascinating, she said, I just wish people could see that.
She knows we can't.
She
say
knows
that.
nobody
She knows
thinks
we
that Joe
know.
Biden can do the job, which he can't. Oh my God.
Clown world. We live in a clown world.
And what does she do?
But legitimately, I heard she sends emails.
Okay.
She's like a legitimate secretary
Is that
for
different?
the puppet masters.
There is no doubt. Mike Pence was all over the place as
Yes, he was.
as a VP. That is a fact. That's not an opinion. It's a fact. But you can look that up. We just don't see her, and maybe that's a better thing. But to do an interview like that, Colbert, thank you for at least asking her the follow-up question. She knew exactly what she was doing. She doesn't do anything.
No, she doesn't.
And then she lies about the president. He is so amazing. I just wish people could see it.
She had to make a point that there's one person that makes those decisions.
That's right.
Like,
That's true.
why make that point?
You can look at people and tell when they're uncomfortable when they speak and they're nonverbals. And she's like, oh my, well, he's this and he's that.
she can't hide it. She can't hide it. Much like your eye rolls. She can't hide
I
it.
just wish that
Much like the eye roll.
people could see how good he is. Anyway, it's not as if the vice president is going to win this country or lose this country, but my, oh my, does that not open up some eyebrows?
But you know what this is really about?
What is it about?
It's about the fact that that Mike Pence was a real vice president because Trump was a real president. They weren't listening to the puppet master. We know that Joe Biden is not a real president. He is definitely listening to the puppet master. We have no idea who's in his ear, probably Obama. And we know that Cammie isn't doing a job. The government, they don't care anymore that we know. They don't care that we're asking, what is she doing? Or what is her role? Or what is her job? They really don't care that we know they are running the show. They just don't care anymore because they have taught us we can't do a darn thing about it.
I'm
It's so
laughing
dismal.
on the chat line because, oh my gosh.
We all are.
Because somebody said her job is to change Joe Biden's blank diaper.
That's
like
probably
poopy
true.
diaper.
Probably true, Pete.
Pete, you're hilarious.
But every now and then when she comes out, we have these same situations where they don't go so well.
They don't care. No, the government does not care. The Biden regime does not care. The Democrat regime does not care. They don't care. You know what? They could throw her out, parade her around town in clown attire. They don't care what we think.
Well, the other part of this is you don't see a lot of massive support from Democrats praising Joe Biden or the administration right now. You just don't.
No.
Now, they're not jumping for Republicans, but something is going on where we have the vice president not being able to answer a simple question and literally go out. So is something else happening? She's being kept quiet on purpose. Is she being kept behind the scenes on purpose? Is she not allowed to go visit things, places to take care of certain policies that they're trying to implement? She still hasn't taken care of the border. She was assigned to by Joe Biden, and she didn't listen to her boss, but she says he's a great boss. But I'm not going to listen to him when it comes to the border issue. National media likes to forget about that. She was tasked with taking care of the border, and it's only gotten worse.
Did you see the comments by the general who is over the South Command, the Southcom
No.
general?
When did they come out?
This was last week, and he stated that Joe Biden has never once called him, never once checked on the border, and this is the general that's over the southern border. And he said, not one time has the White House reached out to me and asked me anything about the border. I mean, that's very telling, because guess what President Trump did? He was talking to him all the time.
Yeah, he was.
All the time. He was always on top of the border.
And then you have the Mexican president saying Mexico's safer than the United States.
Well, I
know
wouldn't
if
agree
that's
with
true.
that.
Yeah, I don't know if
Parts
that's
of it.
true.
On top of all of that's going on. Speaking of which, another topic from a news headline standpoint, Scott, if you get a chance, can you show the video? We have fallout going on all over the drone situation while we talk about, quote, the president. Where's Joe Biden? Where is Joe Biden with this whole drone situation and Russia? Well, the United States military has released this video that shows the Russian jet hitting the drone. Allegedly, that's unless it's some fake video, Tabitha.
And after we watch this, I'm going to explain something to you.
Okay, well, here's the video that we've been given from a national standpoint. We're showing for our listeners the Russian jet that comes up on a drone, allegedly hitting it. And then all of a sudden, for our listeners, if your listeners, you can't see it, our viewers can see it. Then all of a sudden, the drone takes a nosedive for the ocean and falls into the Black Sea. Now, what I thought was fascinating for our viewers is the fact that we see a Russian jet up close. That's cool. That looks like a scene from Maverick to me. So this is the video. Now, what we're being told, there's a race to find this drone in the Black Sea for whatever reason. Russian ships at the crash site of the drone trying to get there. An American official says they wasted no time in getting there.
Okay.
Tabitha, you say what?
I want to clarify something.
Okay.
This is a drone that was made in the United States. It was made in the United States.
Okay.
It's not technically an American drone. It was made here. That is a Ukrainian drone.
False. We don't make anything.
Also true. That's a Chinese-made drone that we stamped America
we
on the
bought
side
parts
of it.
for to put together here and then sell to someone else.
That's actually true because we don't actually make anything here. We get the rare earth minerals and all the parts from China. Stamp American made on it and off it goes. But this is technically a Ukrainian drone. We can't call it, they shot down a U.S. drone. They shot down a U.S. made drone. This drone was given to Ukraine for them to use in their battle against Russia. It's not a U.S. drone. It is a U.S. made drone being used by Ukraine in the war against Russia.
Okay.
Big difference.
Okay. With that being said, why are United States military members telling national media, including Fox and all of us, that a American drone was shot down?
Because it's a US made drone that we gave to Ukraine. They want to make a big deal out of it. It's all theater like so many other things are. It's all theater because they want Americans to be upset. They want to say, "Oh my god, they shot down our drone." But we know what we are not active right now in the Ukraine war. We don't have American flown drones in Ukraine. We don't have that. We have given drones to that would be like us saying, "Oh, Russia shot one of our tanks and blew it up. They shot an American tank." No, they shot a tank that was made by America that was given to Ukraine. Do you see where I'm going?
I do.
Exactly.
It's all
it's all
theater.
theater, and they want to get in a war.
They do. They've been pushing for a war since day one. Since day one. You know, Russia told Zelensky, he told the United States, as a matter of fact, I watched the news every single day for 2 months leading up to this invasion because I knew it was going to happen. I talked about it every single day on one of my other shows. Putin told us he was going to complete this invasion. No one listened. No one did anything. We could have stopped it before it happened. No one did anything. I'm not falling for the propaganda, and I hope you guys don't either.
They want us to hate Russia. They do. They want us to get all up in arms so that we're behind them, because it was on Fox yesterday and they were all out doing their thing. And they want us to absolutely have so much empathy for Ukraine and hate Russia. So when they go into a war, we're like, yes, let's go, let's go. But the fact is so many of us don't believe them anymore. So they've got a problem.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't want to get into the whole war thing again because there's different levels of what, quote, war is. I mean, obviously, we do not get along with Russia in any sense of the word.
Trump did.
With Biden's presidency. However, we did have what appeared to be somewhat respectful. You don't have to like people, but you show respect. There was a respectful relationship between the United States and Russia while Trump was in office. People did not like him across the country and across the world in certain instances, but man, did they respect him. And you see it now because this whole situation's been going on. Guess who's not speaking out? Joe Biden. Joe Biden has not done any speaking. Has anybody else noticed this? This is a national story all over the headlines. Joe Biden's not talking about it.
Yeah, he's nowhere to be found to be talking about this.
Joe Biden, though, guess what he was talking about yesterday and this week? Second Amendment rights.
Mm-hmm. Imagine that.
He is coming. He has told, and he has said that he wants, quote, these, he wants more gun control. And that's what this week, he's talking about Second Amendment rights. He's talking about guns. He's not talking about this international incident that occurred. He's not, well, he did come out. He was forced to talk about the banking industry Monday morning quickly, didn't say anything, then was hosting another press conference 2 days ago and refused to take questions on the banking industry.
I mean, does it surprise? Does any of it? I know I say this every day. Nothing surprises us anymore.
Then if nothing surprises you, then you shouldn't do shows.
Well, no, I'm not saying we shouldn't talk about it. I'm saying that this is what is to be expected of the Biden regime. Remember Obama? How could we not remember Obama? Obama sided with the Muslim Brotherhood. He sided with Iran. Remember that big pallet of cash he delivered to Iran?
Iran got rich.
Iran got a lot of money from us. He sided with Saudi Arabia, who despises us. It's tough for Americans to even travel within Saudi Arabia, but yet they were our buddies under Obama. Trump understands history. Do you think people think we see history being rewritten now? Don't you think history was rewritten in the past? We were taught to hate Russia and to hate Putin. And really, Putin, so many people think that Putin is communist, that Russia is communist. Putin has never once ruled under communism. Because before he became president, communism was already dead. It ended.
It was
before he became president.
Even though he still represents it.
And he doesn't represent it. There's nothing going on in
here.
Russia is better than us as a country right now.
Yeah, but
they have food on the shelves.
We have food on the shelves.
Not all of them.
Tabitha.
I looked for carrots for a week last week and couldn't find any.
Tabitha.
I couldn't find any pork products last night.
Tabitha.
You can say whatever you want, but we've all had problems finding different things.
Putin represents the old Moscow guard. You know that. Even though, quote, communism isn't there, Tabitha, you know what he represents.
You know what? I'm not gonna agree with you on some of these things.
They may have food on their shelves. So do we. It's not as great as we liked it 4 years ago before COVID, before supply chain, before other issues from a financial aspect started to hit us. But we have food.
Did it ever occur to
on the
you
shelves.
or anyone else that our government has propagandized us to hate Russia, to hate Putin?
Yes.
Because you know why? Because they're fighting against New World Order and we're fighting for New World Order.
Yes. Okay.
That was very smart. That's the smartest thing you've said all day.
Hey.
What? That's a compliment.
There's Eric with his hat collection.
It's
Have
a
you
good
noticed that
one.
every day you have a different
Makes
hat
me
on?
look tanner.
The white. I like it. You're the
I
white
like
knight.
it.
You've come in to be
Looks great.
kind. The
Tabitha
white knight
is
to
pissed
save
off
the
today.
day.
Tabitha is
No,
pissed.
she's not.
First of all, never
I don't
am I
think she
mad.
is.
She is
I'm
mad.
never mad. I just want people to stop the brainwashing. You've been brainwashed most
No
of your
doubt.
lives.
Well, that's the world you live in right now.
And I'm not saying Putin's a good guy because he's not a good guy. Joe Biden's not a good guy. Obama, not a good guy. Do you know how many people Obama killed with drone strikes over the years?
Yeah.
A lot of people.
There were
a lot of people.
That's a fact.
And that's a fact. We are all, no government is good. Russia is not
damn.
good.
So
The
you're not a
United States.
patriot.
Look at.
You're not a big
Stop.
You're not a big
I
USA
love our
person.
country. I do not like the Democrat regime. When the
But-
Democrat regime is in place, no, I'm not a happy camper.
Okay.
Because look at all the
Well, that's how they
pillaging
feel about us
that
whenever
we've
we're
done
in
other
power.
countries. Look at what we've done to Iran. Look what we did to Iran. They're running around in black burqas right now. They're 140 something days into a revolution because we put a puppet regime in charge. We are not
Don't
the
be
good
so
guys.
mad. Does anybody have any Xanax? Give this girl some Xanax over here, Lizzie.
Why are you so late? It's 8:41. What have you been doing?
Some CBD.
Eric.
Yes, sir.
She's had a long week, so she's like.
I'm digging it. I think the show
I'm
sounds
telling
great.
you
I'm
the
just
truth.
She's
If
on
you don't-
so
if you
mad.
on fumes.
If you don't like the truth,
Yes.
then that's how
I do like the
that's
truth.
you. But I'm telling you the truth. That our government,
Yeah.
as bad as we want to talk about Russia, our government has done some really bad things.
Whenever
Really
Trump
bad
is in
things.
office, this is exactly how they talk about us. To put that in perspective for a second, think about that. They think they have
Who
this-
did Trump kill with a drone?
They have the same conversations on their little podcast when Trump is in office that we have. It's then you ask, are you not a patriot? Do you not love your country? I love the country, but I hate the people that are running the damn country. It's crazy. So
I love this.
you know what I mean? It's like I'm going through this weird feeling of like, okay, we are completely divided as a country. When I hear Tabitha say this stuff, and you're dead on right. The stuff you were talking about with the banks today, it was kind of right. The stuff you're talking about Ukraine and the
okay,
drone,
so
that's
let's
that's kind of right.
backtrack, Mr. I'm 45 minutes late because I don't care about my show.
Okay, go ahead. I would deserve touche.
No, I'm just teasing you because I love you to death. But you say I'm not right, but that's just your opinion. That's not factual. You're just saying you don't
Here's
agree
the deal.
with what
Here's the
I'm
deal.
saying,
Listen,
and
it's
I
like
don't
you-
agree with
it's
what
like
you're
you
saying.
own a house, and all of a sudden you see a rambunctious raccoon in the backyard. And you're like, I can't believe we have raccoons. They're going to attack the house and they're going to scratch up all the paint and all that. We got to sell the house. Well, that's what the banking system is going through. This little bank out in San Francisco, true, was run by morons, woke morons, no doubt about it. Janet Yellen will probably come on and say this is a mismanaged bank. This is not endemic
You
of
have
the
lost your freaking mind as always.
What? He hasn't said anything crazy yet.
I'm literally
Give him a
spouting off
chance.
what the quote unquote average of experts that I've
Yeah.
heard have said. That's all I'm saying right
Who
now.
are you listening to?
Here's one thing you have to do from now on, Vic. Every time she does this, you have to say, I love your story. Give me your sources. Every time she does this, Vic, you have to go, give me.
I can give you a
your
source right
No.
here. Here we go.
Every time she does
Forbes.
What are we even
Because
talking
hold on,
about?
hold
We're
on,
talking
Vic.
about
Forbes.
banking?
Let me quote Forbes. Oil tumbles below $70 as all hell breaks loose with the banking crisis.
Who wrote
I
the
didn't say
headline?
that.
A wokester,
Forbes did.
probably a woke
Forbes.
intern at whatever Forbes is. Forbes isn't the okay. Here's the
Sherry
deal.
says, Eric, your experts suck. Thank you, Sherry.
Well, my experts cross C-SPAN, they cross MSNBC,
I think we
they
should
go to
have
Fox, they
a
go
war of
local,
experts.
all over the place.
Eric, let Eric finish his
Yeah,
point.
why
I want to
can't
hear
I
because
finish?
All right, I want to hear.
I
Why
wanna
do you
hear
think
this.
Why do you think Bank of America is capturing all this money? It's because of fear. It's
because they're liberals.
Not because they're liberals. Money is not liberal or conservative, Tabitha.
Yes, it is.
Money is freedom.
You're wrong
okay?
because you know what? Bank of America Bank of America
So you mean to hold on.
looks at your bank account, and if
Lizzie,
you
help
buy
me out.
a
Throw
One at a
something
gun,
at her.
time.
Like spray her with a spray bottle
One
or
at a
something.
time.
Do something.
if you buy a gun, Bank of America will report you. If you
fine. Well,
if you have
let's get past that for just a
transactions
second.
over $600, Bank of America
Okay.
will
I get
report
it.
you.
I get it. They are Obama.
That's why they
incarnate.
want
I
all
get
the
it.
money
I
to go
understand.
there.
Hold on. Money has nothing to do with ideology. Money has to do with safety. Money has to do with, do I have $600,000 in the bank, and how can I protect anything over that $250,000 threshold? Correct? Can we all agree on that?
I can agree with
If
that.
I
part.
am on a
That
bank,
part.
if
Hold on.
I'm in a bank in Northern California Community Federal or whatever it is, and I go, damn, I'm in the same kind of bank that just got closed down. I'm looking around going, what's the biggest thing I got? Oh, Bank of America. Boom. That's the bottom line. Not to mention, if you saw Kevin O'Leary this morning, he said, all of my companies today have diversified into the mega banks. That's what they did. They said, we're diversifying all of our accounts across 20 different banks. And he basically made all of his money safe. It had nothing to do with ESG. It had nothing to do with woke.
Has nothing to do with closing the smaller banks to make sure everyone
Smaller
has
banks
all of
gotta
their
go.
money in one bank.
The smaller
Or
banks
the
have to
two
go.
largest banks, just like they monopolize everything else.
Okay,
Now
fine.
they want to monopolize your money.
No.
They said, oh, put all your money in Bank of America because you know why? Because we can watch it where it's there. And then we're going to turn it all into
Here's the
digital assets. And then we're all screwed.
Here's the deal. When you are leveraging against smaller banks, they're going to fail if you mismanage them, period.
100%.
Period. So if you have a mega bank, and thank God we have a mega bank. Or
We have a
few
mega store like
We have a
Walmart,
few
too.
mega banks. Thank God people are not going, oh my gosh, I'm an Obama guy. I'm going to Bank of America. No, the same Trump supporters are going to Bank of America as well. Here's the deal. When people talk about what's going on in the banking industry that really don't know what they're talking about, it's fear. It is, people literally ran to the banks for fear. Whenever I hear stuff like what you're saying, Tab, and you might be right, you're just not citing any sources because
I don't need to cite sources, Eric.
Yes, you do.
Who's your
Yes, you
source?
do.
You're giving all this spiel to us, which is so off base. It's insane. So who is your source? You
My
need to cite your
source,
source
like
too.
I told you,
Who's your source?
my source is from a Nimrod's perspective of what I do with money.
Okay, so you don't have to
Okay?
cite as a source, but you're right.
I am citing the
But I have to
I
cite
am
sources.
citing the average.
You don't have to cite sources.
Hold
I
on,
have to cite
hold on.
sources.
I'm citing the averages of what I saw
So
on not
it's
just
just your opinion, just like it's my opinion, and that's okay.
Hold
because
on.
that's what we're doing
show
here.
is.
Wait, Lizzie,
That's what the
Lizzie,
show is.
Lizzie,
It's
throw
about
something at her.
opinions.
Throw that bottle at her. Here's the deal. It's about fear. There's a few things in life that have
It's
screwed
about
it.
truth, Eric.
It's about fear. If you are fearful and you do something and you do a run on the bank, and that's what a run on the bank is, it's fear. You almost got to you have to step back and go, what? First thing you have to ask yourself, why did this one bank fail? Correct?
It's been 4 banks now.
Correct. But why did the
And
one?
it will be
but
more
why
banks.
did the
Will be
one
more.
fail?
It will be more banks, Eric.
Why did the one
the
fail?
one bank
Mismanagement.
We've already
Correct.
talked about it a bazillion
Mismanagement.
times.
And
why
it
that bank
also and
failed.
it was also the interest rates going up
Inflation.
inflation, and it was the bond market which everybody was hedging on.
And it was also because that damn bank gave $78 million to liberal causes.
And
Yeah.
did you
Thank
know, in
you.
many ways, you guys are both right. What Tabitha is saying is 100% true. It really is. It's 100% true.
Well, it's not
But-
true because you
Why
can't.
do
But
you
you
feel
can't
that-
lop into there that a Bank of America is liberal, this and that, or that, because you would have to be part of their board room discussions to understand
Well, we already
what
know.
they're doing.
We already
Well-
know they're liberal, Eric. What
Well,
I'm
they might be
saying-
conservative too. You don't
No,
know.
they're not. They are 100%. Bank of America is 100%
SV
liberal.
Yeah, and so is SVP.
And so is SVB. But Eric, I think you're missing my point. My point is that the government, in my opinion, I'm not citing any sources. This is my opinion.
I think
and
that
I think the
sources
opinion
from
is
now
of
on
other.
is a healthy thing.
Well, we're
That
a show of opinion.
Yeah, I can make an opinion
You
about
just
Kim
did.
Gardner.
You didn't have it. You just said
I can
you
make an
didn't have
opinion about Kim Gardner.
Oh,
but
we got more news of that.
that's
That
fine.
Tabitha can't
And I'm
wait
not.
to talk
I'm not
about
meaning
Kim
to divert.
Gardner.
I'm not meaning to switch gears. But my opinions on Kim Gardner are based on facts, and my only fact that I have is crime rate.
None of us
Boom.
have anything but opinion on this show. That's what this show is
Yeah, but you
about. It's about
can't-
opinion.
But
Okay, then let's see.
I
If you
have a
want to tell
problem
me
with
that, then I want you to give me your source for every single thing, every word out of your mouth.
my source is
Well, he
literally.
told me we have to have sources before
But
we
I
can
think
talk.
it's healthy. It's healthy.
Then
to
where's
have-
your sources?
On
Because-
certain, no,
Where's your
on
sources?
on certain issues, yeah,
But,
but
he-
not
but
all
even
of
on
them.
this issue,
when you were
Eric's telling
talking
me
about the
he
Ukrainian
doesn't believe
drone,
me because I don't
it's an
have sources.
American drone.
No,
We
it's
have
not. It's a U.S. made drone that we gave to Ukraine for them to use in their war. Do you know
doesn't
how
matter
many
if
U.S.
it doesn't matter if
made
it's owned.
items we have all over the world
Here's the deal.
that are fighting in wars for us?
That drone could have been flown by some kid out of Utah.
Okay,
it
so
doesn't matter.
if I
The
sold-
We're
drone-
all over the board.
If I sold you a gun,
Here's
and
Vic,
you
we're not
sold
all
it to
over the
somebody
board.
and
We're
they
not
yelled it,
actually.
that's not your
Hold
fault.
on, guys. Hold on. We're not all over the board. All I'm saying is this, and it gets frustrating. The Ukrainian, that drone that was hit, it wasn't even shot down. It was by some idiot pilot that doesn't understand getting too close to a damn drone
And we just
at
showed-
30,000 feet.
And we just showed the video.
So the basically the bottom line is it was a Russian provoked attack that was basically, it could have been.
It's called a war.
Hold
In a
on.
war, you shoot down the other side.
Not with gasoline.
but not when the drone is not over your
Yes,
territory.
you do. When you're
No.
they're in a war, for God's
Tabitha,
sake.
No,
the
Tabitha,
drone was
Tabitha.
not
It
in
doesn't
Russian
matter.
It was over
airspace.
international
It doesn't
waters.
matter.
It was over
Russia
international
shoots
waters.
down Ukrainian
Now I
drones
disagree with
in
you.
Ukraine all the time.
But here's the deal.
It's a war. These
Sometimes-
things happen in
Hold on,
war.
hold on. Sometimes on this show, what's fun about this show is that we get as close to the pin as we can. Here's the deal. That was a drone. It was didn't. I don't think it was loaded with any weapons.
It was a Ukrainian drone.
It was a U.S. drone because we have the footage.
A
The
US
Pentagon
made-
literally
it
has
doesn't
the
US
matter.
made drone.
It's
All right.
both.
It doesn't matter.
Both sides
But see,
can claim it.
Vic, this is what I'm talking about. She's trying to take a narrative and spin it to make it look like Russia, good guy, Ukrainian, bad guy.
No,
When-
I'm
when-
saying
when
it's
the-
a war, and that in a war, the other side shoots down the other side's
It
drones.
wasn't shot down. Why didn't you just shoot it
Or
down
shoot
then?
it down, hit it with gasoline, spin it out of the air, spit on it, whatever. It's a
What?
war. And
If you shoot it down with a pebble,
you
it
do
doesn't matter. You
realize-
shot it down.
you do realize that every week, every single week, and trust me, I read Russian news.
Yeah.
Every single week, Russia downs a drone inside Ukraine because guess
Why don't
what?
we- why don't-
Russia's fighting inside
Why don't we talk
Ukraine,
about the nuclear?
and they shoot
why don't
drones
we-
down every
hold
single
on,
week.
Hold on.
This is our
Snapperhead.
government.
Hold on.
You've been talking forever. Can I
But
just
you're-
get my
No,
point?
we both
No, I
have.
have not. I have
No.
not.
I never even got to
I
explain
never
to
get
him
to
my point
resolve
about
my
Bank of
point.
America.
Okay,
I don't
you
get to
will.
resolve my
It's-
points.
You'll make it here.
And the only thing I'm saying is Tabitha is of great passion. And Tabitha is an amazing orator.
I'm passionate about the truth.
She's an amazing
Just-
orator. But on this
he's not able to finish because you're interrupting.
Okay.
Okay.
on
and then
this
you go.
show, to me, the reason I want to be a part of this show is because I'm in the middle of the fairway on whatever golf course, and I want to try to hit the ball as close to the pin as possible. Tabitha will take a driver while she's putting and take the thing out of. And here's the deal with
Do you
me.
get that sports analogy?
No, probably not. But it's
No, because
okay.
I'm always right, so
It's
I'm
all
not
right.
worried about it.
It's okay. All I'm saying is that I look at myself more as a spectator on this show, which every now and then I get to chime in, like the people on Facebook. The deal is this with the drone. Let me just get to that. It was a drone. It was a surveillance drone. It was in international waters. It was provoked again by Russia. Russia was trying to take the thing out with gasoline. Why they didn't just shoot the thing out of the air, I don't know if that's what they were trying to do. It didn't work. The pilot sucked. He hit the damn drone and the thing went into the drink, period. That is a provocation against the United States. I don't care who was flying the thing. It was an American drone, correct?
Can I tell you why
That's
you're
the end
wrong
of the
now?
story.
Okay.
That's the end of that
Eric,
story.
I hear
we
you.
don't have to tie in Ukraine to that story. That's not the story. The story is what it is. Okay, now go ahead.
Okay, we, the United States,
Yes.
are not in an active war with Russia, right?
So what?
We don't have a drone.
No, we have a
in-
proxy war. I'll
You're-
agree with you there.
Hold on. Okay.
See, now you're doing what
But
you
you
told me
asked
not
him a
to do.
question, though.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I'm speaking rhetorically.
Yeah, but that was a question.
Okay. We the United States, we are not in an active war with Russia right now. We, the United States, are not operating drones in the sea, in Russia, in Ukraine, or anywhere else. We, the United States, are not controlling drones. And if we did control this drone, then guess what? That is an active war on our end against Russia. The United States has sold hundreds of drones to Ukraine.
Fantastic.
We
And
gave.
tanks
Well,
and
I shouldn't say we sold them. We gave them hundreds of drones. Ukraine is flying U.S. made drones all over the country. Every single week, U.S. made drones are getting shot down in Ukraine. Every single week, they're getting shot down in Ukraine because it's a war, and Russia is fighting this war against Ukraine, inside the Ukrainian borders. And those drones are flying over their tanks and revealing their positions, and they are shooting them down all the time. What happened with this drone is nothing
The
new.
drone is just really a stupid story.
It is a stupid story.
To be honest with you,
we're all in agreement.
It's
a stupid
why don't we,
story.
if you want to talk about Russia being good guy, why don't we talk about the
I
Russian
never
bear?
said they were
Why don't
good
we
guys.
talk
There's
about
no good guys
why don't
in
we
this
talk
war.
about the nuclear bombers that are 2 miles off of the coast of Alaska
You don't think
almost
we
every
have
single
them?
day?
You don't think we have them everywhere?
I didn't
Are
say
we
we
the
didn't.
good guy?
I didn't say we
There are
didn't.
no good guys, Eric.
I didn't
All-
say we didn't.
With Trump not in office, there are
I'm
no
telling
good
you right
guys.
now, Russia doesn't look at the Americans as a friend. Okay,
Of course he
period.
doesn't.
No,
Of course he
especially
doesn't.
not now.
Of course he doesn't.
It's just they used to not like us, but they respected us. Now they don't like us and they don't respect us.
Yeah.
And that's another issue, and that's because of the current administration.
And so all I'm saying is this: we should get as close to what we're trying to resolve as possible. And sources are good. I'll try to bring up more sources myself.
And
How's
after
that?
we talk with Mark Schmitz, we'll get back to Banks Drones and Kim Gardner, just like that. We covered all three in a matter of 30 seconds. Okay. With that being said, honored we have Mark Schmitz in studio today. Mark, thanks for joining
What's up,
us
buddy?
in
How are you
studio for the
doing?
first
Good.
time. Of course, the father of Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz, who was murdered. He was murdered at the Kabul airport in Afghanistan back in 2021. Mark, last time we spoke to you, you said that you would keep us posted on any information that came out because people want to know. You had a meeting with the Foreign Affairs Committee, allegedly on accountability from Afghanistan. What the hell is going on? We feel for you because we can only imagine what it's like to go through a tragedy like that and then not get answers. Are you getting any answers? What happened with this committee meeting?
Well, it was the first meeting was last week, and it went well overall. I think it certainly started to shed some light on a lot of the things that we've been looking for answers on since day one. All we've gotten so far from the Pentagon is a bunch of nonsense. You know, these guys that showed up at our house were merely the messengers, but you could tell that they were given a story to peddle to us, and it was full of holes and a lot of I hate the word disinformation, but it was certainly lacked in a lot of facts. Let's just put it that way. When Tyler did his opening testimony, you know, a lot of people saw it. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't even know this committee hearing even happened.
Can you remind people who Tyler is?
Tyler Vargas Andrews was the sniper that was directly to Jared's upper left. He was in the position in the tower there with the other sniper team. Their job was to provide oversight, looking for unusual activity. Unfortunately, given their vantage point, they saw a lot of horrific things that happened over there, like the Taliban executing people, you know, left and right, and they couldn't do a damn thing about it, which is ridiculous. But they were the ones that were first informed of the exact description of who to look for the suicide bomber. You know, there were potential threats called in, given to them to be on the lookout for automobile IEDs driving through and whatnot. But the most credible threat was this younger, clean-shaven young man wearing brown and a black vest, and he was accompanied by an older gentleman. Well, they spotted this man. Their sniper rifles are equipped with video surveillance as well as photo capabilities, so they can record what they are seeing. They radioed up that they had this guy in their sights. I mean, an exact description of who they were supposed to be looking for. And the battalion commander finally showed up, and I believe CIA intelligence as well was involved as far as confirming that this was the person they in fact were looking for. But there was essentially a stand down order initially. They were not allowed to shoot. Tyler approached the battalion commander and begged him essentially to allow him permission to shoot. And his battalion's commander's exact response was, I don't know. I don't know if he can shoot or not. I'm like, are you kidding me? You know, what the hell is this guy doing in this position if he can't even give the sniper team the information they need to do their job? You know, Tyler kind of snapped back at him, and good for him. He told him, well, go find out who the hell can give me permission.
Yeah.
Or who does know the answer. And the battalion commander left and never returned. And then by the time all was said and done, the bomber completed his mission, and, you know, the rest is history. Seeing Tyler up there talking about this gave me so much pride. I mean, this young man, he think about the courage and the guts it took to, number one, stand up to our government, stand up to the military, stand up to his battalion commander, but probably more importantly, have to relive all that crap. You know, that the images that have probably run through this man's head is something I would never want to have, you know, and it's good that he did what he did, because now the light has been shined on this. And I think that a lot of the committee members, specifically Republicans, but there was quite a few Democrats, I think they were quite moved by his testimony, and hopefully we can get a partisan investigation going here and stop with this finger pointing and political games that happen all the time in these meetings. So, you know, there's definitely people that are accountable for this. So far in a year and a half plus, nobody has been held accountable whatsoever. I don't know any other job out there where you screw up this bad, you still have a job, you know, and people's lives were lost.
So true. And you talked about, you met Biden out at Dover, right? Was it, where'd you meet Biden at?
At the Dover Air Force Base.
Dover. Yeah. When I always wondered this, when you saw him and you kind of looked in his eyes, was he there? I mean, did you feel like, man, this guy, he's here for me. You know, he's got my back.
No, not at all. You could tell when somebody is their mind somewhere else and thinking of other things. I'm not saying he was checked out mentally or anything, but he definitely had other things on his mind. I mean, my ex-wife actually showed a photo of Jared on her phone to him, and I was looking at him. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? He looked like he was looking right through that phone. I mean, just staring.
Really?
I'm like, and that's when I leaned down and I said, "That's my son, Jared."
Yeah.
Say his name. Say the name of all the other 12. Remember their stories. And that's when he barked back at me and said, "I know their stories." I'm like, oh God.
Really?
They don't care, do they?
No.
Our government completely failed us. Think about this. We all know is there anyone in this world who doesn't know how terrible the Taliban is, the fact that they're terrorists, and yet they put the terrorists in charge of the checkpoints. Mm-hmm. They put the terrorists in charge of letting the people through who were supposed to come through. And they knew before all this happened that the Taliban at the checkpoints were not letting the correct people through. They knew they were letting other terrorists through. Right. They knew that they were making people pay massive amounts of money to get through the checkpoints to that airport. Our government knew they were going to withdraw. And I'm sure that's why the other person left the post, because they knew what was going to happen. They left your son and those other people there to take the brunt of their withdrawal. It's just completely despicable. And people get upset with me when I'm upset with our Biden administration because they think I'm not patriotic. But I'll tell you what, I love this country just like you do, just like your son did. But our government is not always in the right. And what we did right here was so incredibly wrong.
Well, maybe you heard or didn't hear, but Tyler also testified that there were Afghans that literally were committing suicide by cutting themselves on the razor wire that was meant to hold them back, because if they were being turned away, they'd rather die with their own dignity than go back and face the Taliban on their way out. I mean, that's just disgusting.
Yes.
It's, you know, and this is what these guys had to witness. Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
What I've been on Newsmax and a few other interviews lately, and, you know, I've kind of sat here and dissected this whole thing. And there's really three key components, I think, that need to have answers. Number one, it starts at domino number one, which is Bagram. That is all on Biden.
Yep.
They are subpoenaing records from the administration and getting stonewalled, and they're not cooperating whatsoever, because those records will reveal exactly what our military leaders were advising him to do or not to do.
Yeah.
And that's what they don't want us to see. I have a feeling.
Why do you think they didn't want Bagram anymore? I mean, it would have been a great foothold right in the Middle East. We wouldn't have had to done much to it, green zone around it, but we would have still been there. Why do you think they really wanted to get out of there?
I have no idea. It makes no sense. I've talked to some CIA operatives that were on the ground there, and they're dumbfounded, because they were telling me anybody who's been to HKIA knows that HKIA was the worst possible place you could try to conduct this type of an evacuation.
Exactly.
It had 2 10-foot chain link fence surrounding the entire perimeter. That's it. You know, it's mind boggling to think that this would have been a better option. Well, I mean, Bagram was a fortress. We could have easily, and it wasn't that terribly far from downtown, you know, so I think it would have maybe thwarted those that didn't, you know, have any business trying to be evacuated, you know, from coming all that distance. Those that really wanted to, because they had a reason to, because they were interpreters or allies.
And even that's ridiculous, because we didn't vet anybody. It was just like, jump on the plane and we'll sort it out in the mix at the end of the rainbow.
you had State Department, you had Department of Defense relaying information to these young guys that are on the ground who, number one, aren't trained to decipher between a valid documentation and not. They were telling them, look for this. And then in the State Department would say, look for that, and look for this particular family, look for that. These kids are just literally being pulled in 50 different directions with very unreliable information of what exactly is a valid thing for them to do. So, I mean, God only knows how many out of the 120,000 were evacuated that certainly shouldn't have been. But there is no question that the military motto of leave no man behind certainly was violated here. I mean, we've got countless Americans, obviously way more Afghan allies that we promised to protect and save, and they're still back over.
So I went into Ameristar, I think, on the anniversary, and there's the 13 glasses of beer.
Mm-hmm.
So people still remember this. Yep. You guys are a big part of. We just had Kyle Rittenhouse on, and I told him this. I said, I think you're the face of the Second Amendment now because of how big that event was. This event was also big. You guys are kind of the face of the forgotten three, or the fallen three for 13. Are you going to be in politics in the next election? Serious question. People will look to you because a big topic is going to come up. The withdrawal of Afghanistan. Are you guys interested in being the face of kind of that event?
Honestly, my family's been through enough.
Really?
Yeah. My wife, she said, "Don't you dare." In jest, we had a lot of condolence cards and things, and I got a card from an old lady. I don't even remember where she was from, but it was addressed to Senator Mark Schmitz. I'm like, no. I'm not going to run.
Really? Because it's fair, because you were a part of this. You lived it every single day. It shows the incompetency in the government, and you are in a place where you have a voice to get into that if you really wanted to. How do you feel? How are you going to use your voice of people that will look to you when your opinion becomes valuable to them, as far as that event went anyway, the way that our military's run or whatever?
Due to my son's sacrifice, I've chosen to take this negative and try to turn it into a positive with our nonprofit. And that's how I choose to use my voice.
And if you could let people know before you get out the nonprofit as well, how they can jump in right now.
Yeah. But to use it in a political capacity, I don't see that I honestly would be a huge benefit. Yeah, I may have some knowledge or be personally affected by this one incident, but there's a lot more to do when you're in politics than just one focal point. So
fix the potholes. That'd be nice.
I think people know that I'm not afraid to complain, and speak up. I've been squashed by social media already constantly. There's constantly any valid stuff I'm putting out there is being shadow banned, and I could put squirrels dancing in the rain and I can get 85 likes and laughs, and I can put something serious about what happened. And with the
who's shadow banning you think?
Facebook, and then for sure Facebook, and now Instagram just did the other day.
Instagram.
Okay. Had to fight with them to get back on. Apparently it just got reactivated again last night, which, with the Freedom for 13, our nonprofit, I don't talk about politics. It's more all about the veterans and what we're trying to do for them. And, anybody who wants to know anything about where I stand can go to my personal page and certainly see exactly how I feel about things. But, they are separate. I mean, I don't care if you're a Democratic veteran. I mean, you're a veteran. That means you're a hero in my book. I could care less if you love Biden. That's wonderful for you. That's the beauty of this country. You have the opportunity to have your own opinion.
Are there any veterans that love Biden?
I'm sure there are.
Yeah, of course there are. I know too.
There's people all over. Mark, I want to go back to something you said. You talked about how our government says no man left behind, but yet we did leave so many behind. And, I want to make sure people understand, I think most do, it wasn't our government who went back to get those folks that were left behind. It was private organizations of veterans. Our government, the Biden administration, they never went back and got those people. Never.
No.
They abandoned them there. They left them there, never went back.
That's right. Like Operation Pineapple, this guy.
Yes.
I'm supposed to be getting connected with him. I watched and listened to him during his testimony, and brilliant man. And there's dozens of these types.
I've interviewed him. Good people.
There's dozens of these organizations that are doing this, and they're still going over there to try to get them out, and that's wonderful. I think at the very least, our government needs to lend a hand and pick up the bill on these flights or whatever it's going to take.
And they're not. It's all through. I interviewed a guy named Doug through Operation 360. You'll need to connect with him. They have rescued thousands of people out of Afghanistan. They've put their lives and the lives of so many people in danger, and had to pay the Taliban money at these checkpoints. $20,000 a person at times, and that's their own money they raise through private donations. The government has not contributed one penny to getting any of those people out. The people who worked so hard to protect American troops over in Afghanistan.
But they won't, Tabitha.
No,
we
they
know
won't.
that, unless a Donald Trump is back
That's
in
right.
office, or a conservative person from that standpoint. Mark, we appreciate you jumping into anything you want to remind people, or just how they can get involved and help what you guys are doing.
One real quick thing regarding what Tyler was testifying to as well was he actually literally asked to be asked about the gunfire post blast. Pentagon has been covering that up since day one. I've got videos sent to me from Afghans that were there. They're trying to deny the validity of these videos as well. But another key thing he mentioned, which I find to be incredibly incompetent, is the fact that the NCIS and FBI never even bothered to interview this kid, this young man. I mean, he's the one who had his eyes on this potential bomber. We still don't know to this day if that was in fact the bomber or not. But I love what he said when they asked him, "What if you had shot this man and it wasn't the bomber?" And he replied, "If the bomber was in the crowd near this man and he saw his face cave in or his chest cave in from a rifle shot, from the sniper rifle, he might have thought twice." You just never know. But we've started our organization, the Freedom 13. It's going to be open for all veterans. We're planning on building recreational retreat villages, one in every state, on 100 plus acres of land. Each one will have 13 houses on it, open to vets and their
Nice.
families.
That's awesome.
Just a place for guys to go check out, reboot and reset, and make friends with other veterans. You know?
What about veterans in the music industry? Like, am I invited?
Oh my God.
What? I thought if you don't ask, the answer's always no, Vic.
Mark Schmitz, we appreciate you coming here to talk about your son, Jared, his life, what happened. And we always pray that you get the finality of getting the answers and some of the stuff that really happened that day.
We're on the right direction.
And
now.
It seems like this is the most positive I've ever seen you regarding information coming from the Pentagon.
Well, I hope some of the guys that serve with my son and have been there see the courage that Tyler has demonstrated and come forward as well and share anything that might be beneficial for this committee to know about.
All right, Mark Schmitz, we appreciate you jumping in. Again,
Thanks,
if
brother.
you want to help out, you can go check out his website. And of course, any updates, we'll continue to keep you posted on that as well. Love having conversations like that. Hey, we're going to take a quick break, just a couple-minute break. Don't go anywhere. Come right back. We're going to let you know who our partners are on this show, the advertisers. Use the products if you can. Give them a call. Let them know that you hear from cancelthisshow.com. You can check it out right there. We'll come back. A lighter topic, maybe not. The Biden administration. Oh, no, guess where they're putting their emphasis on. They're threatening to ban TikTok in the country if the Chinese owners don't spin off their share of the U.S. ban. You can't make this stuff up.
So stupid.
We'll get into it. Plus, more on Joe Biden's administration. Not talking about everything else that's going on right now with banks and everything. But
did you say more on Biden administration or more on?
More on.
There you go.
More on. And Second Amendment, going after Second Amendment rights this week. This is cancelthisshow.com. Full house. Scotty Gherkin, Lizzie Sparks, Mark Schmitz has just joined us. Eric Johnson, Tabitha Hassel. I'm Vic Faust. Back with more right after this.
you may know, the home of the Cancel This studio is located at the all-inclusive private jet hangar Strategic Air Services. Founded in Chesterfield, Missouri, they take pride in offering a meticulous approach to private aviation through services that fully manage your trip from takeoff to landing. Strategic Air Services is more than just storage for your aircraft. They offer state-of-the-art amenities to its members and guests. When you are not traveling, you have the luxury of enjoying their world-class gym, conference rooms, lounges, and so much more. Strategic Air Services offers an unparalleled luxury experience for all things private aviation. If you're looking for a new place to call home for your aircraft, give them a call today at 636-400-7601. Again, that's 636-400-7601, or visit their website at strategicairservices.net.
If you are having a bad day at work, I can help. Hi, this is Curtis Sparks with Complete Auto Body and Repair. We just expanded to Cowdville and St. Peters and are looking for qualified automotive and auto body technicians that would want to work in a climate-controlled environment. That's right, we offer a fully climate-controlled, air-conditioned and heated facility in both Cowdville and St. Peters. Visit us at CompleteAB.com. If it's not perfect, it's not complete. Others can't compete with Complete Auto Body.
Dad and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixes cars.
Kathy O. Big Strick, owner of Experience Real Estate Partners with EXP, has been one of St. Louis, Missouri's highest selling groups for 26 years running. In that time, Kathy and her team have successfully assisted an incredible 4,000 families. So if you're thinking about buying, building, or selling, be sure to put Kathy's group and their experience to work for you, and you can expect to be moved. Just give her a call at 314-276-SOLD. That's 314-276-7653, or find her online at experience-re.com.
So are you ready to be the grill master this summer? Well, look no further than Pixie Dust Seasoning. Our custom seasoning blends will take your barbecue to the next level. With 9 different blends to choose from, you will have the perfect flavors for any meat or veggie. And the best part is, our seasonings are low sodium and healthy, so you can indulge guilt-free. Whether you're hosting a big party or just cooking a late-night dinner, Pixie Dust Seasoning is the secret ingredient that you would thank us for. So head on over to our site at www.pixiedustseasoning.com to see our store locator, and I'm sure we'll have a store near you.
And when you visit the site, be sure to use the code name VIC so they know you came from CancelThisShow.com. Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, if you don't know, is a family-owned business that has been around since 1994, serving some of the best chicken wings in town, no joke. Also known for their fresh burgers, pizza, and incredible smoked meat. Top-notch happy hour specials are included, plus live music every Friday and Saturday. Oh yeah, you can also enjoy their spacious heated covered patio. It's Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, 18,000 Chesterfield Airport Road. Hey guys, welcome back into the show. It's cancelthisShow.com, cancelthisShow.com. Hey, want to give a special shout out to Complete Auto Body and Repair. Complete Auto Body and Repair. Complete Auto Body Care and Repair. You got it all. Anyway, show sponsor. We had Curtis Sparks in last week. No better place to get your car taken care of. There just isn't. Plus, if you're a mechanic or you're looking to help somebody who's a mechanic or know somebody who is a mechanic, have them give the guys a call over there. He came in and talked to us about this. We're talking about air-conditioned auto body shops. Does it get any better than that? Nobody else has them. Nobody else has them. Complete Auto Repair and Body. They've got it for you. Curtis Banks. Give them a call. Complete Auto Body and Repair. They're looking for mechanics. They got so much work. They're backed up. They need mechanics. Some of the best pay and great working conditions. Once again, Complete Auto Body and Repair. Welcome back into the show. CancelThisShow.com. As always, please share. Please share the show. Like, subscribe, do it all. Send the stars. Scotty Gherkin running the show. Producer, engineer, just everything. Our sack.
What'd you say? Our sack?
He's our sack.
Our sack of what?
He's our sack.
Sack of crap, I guess.
He's the sack.
No.
The
Our
sack.
MacGyver.
I don't know.
Swiss Army knife is what it is.
Yes.
I'm sort of a-
SAK.
Man, I am so behind in those damn
Yeah, it's.
acronyms. I swear to
I'm
God.
just. I'm
I
just
need
a big
lesson.
sack.
Lizzie Sparks.
Eric,
and
we
it's
talk
stuck.
about it every morning.
Eric
I'm not here in
Johnson.
the morning.
Jeff Nassau.
We talk about this every morning.
I'm Vic Faust. We appreciate everybody jumping back in with us. Quick update just for you, Tabitha. We'll get into it. We'll see.
Oh,
where
I
it
already
goes.
know what the update is.
Here it is. Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey filed new court documents yesterday. He's trying to get Kim Gardner removed from office ASAP. And
Let's do it.
the latest filing says he wants to put everything on hold until next Tuesday. That's when Bailey said that he's going to file an amendment petition to the original motion saying that Gardner should be removed from office because she isn't doing her job before or now. He also wants the court to set a June trial date for the case. This is what Brad Young told us would happen, that it would be done quickly. He thinks the court will act quickly to do this. Now, he said the new filing, it's an amended petition which will provide the respondent with notice of additional allegations, more support for the claims against Kim Gardner, meaning victims and families of victims who have now come forward with more additional evidence that the state intends to rely on to prove the allegations. So once again, he is doubling down a day after Kim Gardner said this is just a racist attempt to take her from her job and the people of St. Louis.
What would happen if she was a liberal? If she was a conservative prosecutor who failed in the way she is, what would liberals do? They would go to her circuit attorney office. They would burn it down. No question about it. They would vandalize it. They would burn it down. They would protest for days. They would block off a couple areas and call it
Do you
Chaz
know what,
St.
though?
Louis.
As soon as you said that,
Why don't we do things like this? Why don't we go up there and just carry
we should
her out?
be doing that. Let's
Let's
go
go-
get
let's go
signs
do
and Let's go to
something.
her house.
Let's go
to her
burn that
house.
place
Oh my
down.
God.
Yeah, let's
you
go.
guys
Let's
are on
go.
fire.
We're gonna
Get
go to her
some.
house. Come on,
I
Jab.
hear a lot of chirping.
No, I don't. I hear two women that are going to make some damage. But anyway,
No, because we'd go to prison for the rest of our
really would.
lives, but liberals
But
would
you know
not.
what? This is one topic that you would never see because the track record of conservative towns is not violent. It's not crime oriented. It's very vanilla. It just gets stuff done. Conservative towns are boring. They get the potholes fixed. Schools don't have CTR or critical race theory. Kim Gardners don't exist. If someone commits a crime, they're in jail. Here's one thing that you got to watch out for, and this is very funny. So what is it, July or June, what you said? That they would
He's trying to get it moved up to June.
June. Okay. Here's what you have to wonder. Is Kim Gardner now going to do a hard court press on this thing? Is she going to put everyone in jail? Is she going to clean up the prosecution logs? Is she going to kick some ass? Because if she does, then it proves that the pressure on her worked somehow, that now she will start doing her job. Or does she double down and do absolutely nothing so that the books don't move? Because if she goes into court and the prosecutor goes, look, when the pressure came on this prosecutor, the crime went down in St. Louis because she actually started doing her job. She stopped neglecting what she was doing because she knew there was a lawsuit on the way. Or she can't even do that anymore because it will prove that she has been not doing anything properly in her office. Is that make sense?
That's a good point. Will she do something? Will she not do something? My guess, though, is knowing who funds her. She, just like our president, they're not very smart. I really don't know that she knows how.
Well, here's what's going on. This is why Bailey did this. Bailey did it because yesterday when Gardner filed her response to his original motion, she argued that, quote, Mr. Bailey's petition fails to meet the extremely high bar to state a lawful claim for ouster. Then she said instead his petition is a gross power grab, an affront to the liberties of all Missourians. The court should dismiss it. So Bailey goes, oh, really? Oh, I don't have the evidence. Not only do I have the evidence to a high degree, I've got more evidence. Just wait until you see what's going to happen. So what he did was she upped the ante. He called her. He put his cards in and said, show me what you got. And next Tuesday, he'll be filing the amendment. And on top of that, saying, I'll see you in court in June.
Yeah. because the needs of St.
Boom.
Louis, the needs of St. Louis outweigh the needs of any political
So
ideology. And I'm glad they're doing this. And there's another thing going on. Jefferson City is trying to get power over the police department, and they're not liking that very much either.
And your buddy Tashara Jones spoke out against it yesterday.
I know she
and
did.
she said she is not for the state
She's not my
takeover.
buddy. She's not my buddy.
For state takeover.
She's
I
not
was
my buddy.
disappointed
She's
she
not-
said that.
what? Lizzie.
What?
But you knew she was going to, Lizzie.
I know. I agree.
from
I
day
knew she was
one.
going to say no, but I just thought that when the girl's legs got cut off, she would be like, "Okay, damn it! Now we have got to do something about this."
She did.
Well, she said something bad
For-
about Kim Gardner, but
For a black woman,
yeah,
the first ever black woman of St. Louis mayor to come out and rip the first black woman circuit attorney.
Yeah,
is
that was a big deal.
That's massive.
I agree.
Massive,
I agree
massive. She said so. She did, but when you start talking about state takeover, guess who that looks bad on?
her. So I guess that's why she doesn't want to do
Yeah.
it.
That threatens her little
It
pocketbook.
really does. Yes, it does.
It does. So that's why you're not. That's why she's against the state takeover. She's not against Andrew Bailey taking Kim Gardner out.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
But you know
He
what?
wants
In her
gone.
defense, again, I told Tabitha that she always looks at me like I'm nuts.
No, she's not.
I
That's
No, I
way-
don't.
But
I used to think that that's
but
how
here,
her
I'll
eyes.
That's just how I
I'll-
look.
you look fabulous, by the way.
She always does.
Seriously.
Here's where I'm at with Tashara. I'm at a crossroads. I'm at Effingham, Illinois, right? The crossroads of America,
Oh,
right there.
God.
Effingham.
I'm at the
That is the
crossroads
crossroads of
It is.
America.
You're
It
right.
It is.
She can either go one way, which is down this liberal path of kind of the fake, I want to make St. Louis safe again, or she can go the other way and go, you know what? I can see what's going on with our police department. I'm going to fix it. I want to have power over this nut called the St. Louis Police Department. And she actually does something to fix the damn thing, address it. If she doesn't, if it doesn't feel like she's doing that, then I will jump on Tabitha's boat and say she's got to go. She's not doing anything
she's
to
already-
address the
she's-
major. Well, I don't know.
Look how far are we in? Look how many lives have been lost under her watch. Like I said yesterday,
Agreed. Agreed.
We gave her a shot that first year. Now it's over. She failed. End of story.
You can't fix this.
You know what? We can't fix anything because you know what? We don't do anything. Like I just said, what would we have done in the old West if this would have happened? If a prosecutor wasn't prosecuting people and they were letting we would have went up there to the circuit attorney's office, to the courthouse. We would have dragged them out and hung them at high noon. And you know, we don't do that anymore. But as conservatives, why aren't we down there protesting? If we care so much about getting her out of office, why don't we have groups of conservatives out in front of her office, peacefully protesting, peacefully assembling every single day?
Tabitha nailed
Doesn't
it.
happen.
Here's the deal.
It won't happen.
Here's the deal.
Because we don't really care.
Completely agree
We just like
with
to
that.
talk about it.
Because there might be 10,000 people protesting in their black Antifa garb down at any town hall thing. If there's 10,000 people, there should be 100,000 conservatives or 100,000 people that care about fixing St. Louis that are right around the 10,000 people going, you guys need to leave. And it never happens. It never happens.
We talked about this yesterday. You're never going to see it in St. Louis City.
It happens on podcasts.
It's a possibility in St. Louis
I mean,
County.
it happens on podcasts. Unfortunately,
It could.
the
happen
guys that
there.
are winning these arguments, they wash their Antifa clothes, they put on their Antifa jackets, they drink their Antifa coffee.
But you know what, Eric?
They drink their Antifa coffee or their activist coffee. They get in their activist cars. They put on their activist masks.
You know why the world is crazy?
And they make
Because
their activist signs, and then they go in front of the activist cameras, and they win.
Eric, you're missing the biggest point of all. Things are like this because Trump is not president. Because he won.
There it is. Oh, I feel better now.
There you go, baby.
Yep. There it is. My
Who's
part
Natasha?
I have no idea what I'm looking at.
Neither do
This
I.
is for you.
Love it.
The fake news.
Yeehaw.
Come on, man.
Come on. The fake news.
My mental fitness.
What he's doing now?
New modern day zero.
We are definitely covering this one. This is absolutely phenomenal. Great song, actually. I feel like Taylor Swift. If he did, he'd win.
Oh, you know that's right.
I love his thing.
Perform. Trump wanted you know it. This year's Grammy Award.
Votes in Fulton County were counted more than once.
I bet he took New York and carried California as well. He's done it twice before, and he's gonna win again for the third time.
Well, the words don't rhyme.
Trump won and you know it. Trump won
Breakdown.
and you know it.
The arena rocks back there.
News won't even show it. It's true. Trump won and you know it. Trump won and you know it. If there's a line, they're gonna tow it. It's true. Trump won and you know it. I know it, you know it, we know it, they know it, everybody knows.
Long enough for these ladies.
Going on and on and on.
Waiting for the key change, Eric.
Yeah, the modulation up ahead. Yes. Very nice. Very nice.
Eric, listener Cheryl sent that in just for you.
Cheryl, you're a rock. You killed. Look, you know
Wasn't that
what is
fantastic?
that movie you
Yay,
want me to watch?
Cheryl.
1,000 Mules.
2,000 mules.
Let me
It
tell
should
you.
be called
Lizzie,
10,000
look at me.
mules.
Let me tell you something. That did more damage to the counter argument than watching any 2,000 Mules right there. Because if you play that for kids,
These were excerpts from 2,000
Really?
mules.
okay.
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yes.
Am I lying?
But Eric,
the
you're-
short attention
Yes.
span
And
I
theater
think
of
if
this
you watch the
country.
entire
Yes.
movie,
I won't watch 2,000 Mules because I'm a busy guy, but I will watch 3 minutes of that and go, damn, man, write another song, write a whole album of these songs. And I'm telling you, that pushes the needle a little bit.
did
Do you
you
agree?
catch that they
Does- oh, I
said
agree.
Fox won't show it?
Of
And
course.
it's true.
It is
Really?
true.
No,
That
I
was
didn't
one of the
see
lines
that.
in the song.
I forgot my glasses today. Yeah, maybe give me
It was
So,
in there.
This version of it, I don't know who posted this one. It's gotten like 241,000 views.
Yeah, it'll get a ton more.
That was
Yeah.
Wait a minute, there's
fantastic.
another one?
There's a couple.
a ton more it will get.
Wow.
Let's see here. Yeah, there's other people that are posting it, so it's probably gotten over 1 million by at this point.
Isn't that fantastic?
Yes,
Cindy,
I
what is-
loved it.
It was so good.
Let me ask Cindy, what is this thing at the Family Arena tonight? That's like,
I'm going to the
What
family
is it?
arena tonight. What it is in St. Charles County, believe
Okay.
it or not, we had voter fraud. Actually, quite a bit of voter fraud.
Okay.
They're trying to make our county that's bright
We
red.
have to be fair though. Alleged voter fraud.
Okay, you're right.
because there was
Alleged.
nothing that was proven, even though I even look at it and go, that's some shady stuff.
Well, some people, I agree
Mm.
with you. We have to say alleged. I agree with you. I've just gone to a lot of the St. Charles County Council meetings, and it appeared to me, so I'll
Yeah.
use the word appeared, that when people came up and talked to the St. Charles County Council,
okay.
they had the proof. They just kept getting shut down and
Ooh,
shut down
not
and
good.
shut down. So
Not
they
good.
had the proof. So that's why a lot of people on the county council got voted out this last time.
Yes, yes.
So Joe Brazel and a group of other people are putting something on at the Family Arena to show us how they're going to avoid it this next time coming up. And I don't know if they're going to show any proof tonight. I don't know. but it's at the Family Arena. Doors open at 6, and it starts at 6:30.
Very
And
nice.
I am going.
Hey,
to
you know
it.
what? Here's the deal. We can have all these discussions on this show and on other shows. To me, there's only one thing it has to be dead solid is our voting system.
100%.
Every time I go to vote, in my mind, I think of the purple thumbs in Iraq. I go, if those dudes can do it with snipers down the streets, we can do it in St. Charles or on a federal level. So I will go. I will want to hear if St. Charles is shady in any way, shape, or form, I'll come back here and I'll make my opinions known.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Are you going to go?
I am.
And,
Yes,
and,
I am.
and we're a
I'm going
national show. That's just a little section of St. Louis where we are. And I can tell you one person who doesn't want this to happen. His name is Kurt Barr. And he is in charge of the elections in St. Charles County. We've had him on before. And whether rightly so or wrongly so, there are a group of people who do not like the way he has done the job in St. Charles.
And there's a group of
County.
people tonight that are going to be yelling, not me, but a bunch of people are going to be yelling, Candy Crush, Candy Crush, Candy Crush. And if anybody was at the meetings, they'll know when he was there to try to dispel or
that's right.
whatever, he was watching Candy Crush.
This is a big topic. We should be talking about this right now.
So I sat only 3 rows behind him and I leaned over
Yes.
and somebody asked me, what is he watching? And I said, Candy Crush.
So you were the
He
one
got caught.
you were the one that found him out?
One of about 3 or 4 of us saw.
Yeah, someone took a photo of it that was circulating
was
at the
bored.
time.
'Cause he was bored.
Somebody was looking over his shoulder and took a photo.
We
of his
had
phone.
him on our radio show, and he says, everybody that continues to say this about me, he said this on our Ed show.
Yes.
He says it's false. He's like,
Of course he is. Why would you not?
And he said that people are making things up that are not true, that they are adding things that are not true. They see something that may not make sense to them, but we are doing everything 100% correct. But that was his response.
And of course that had to be his, but they did bring proof to the St. Charles County Council. They did. And it was shot down by the county council. A lot of them are not there anymore because they wouldn't allow it to be seen. And they asked.
How can you be in the council?
But Eric, they were Republicans.
They were all Republicans.
They were Republicans.
Mhm.
And the Republicans said, you have these people. I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm just telling you because I know the story well.
Mhm.
The St. Charles County Board said, what is being brought forward is not 100% true, and you're stretching the truth.
Okay.
The group of people say, no, this is illegal. We have proof. County council said, no, this is not proof.
Okay.
Bar said, no, this is not proof. So then you have a stalemate. Then they're not on the council anymore. So would a new council change things?
That's what we're going to find out tonight. That is literally the question
We
of the
try
hour.
to be fair here. That's why. That's why I say
I want to be fair.
Nothing surprises me.
I want to be fair.
You
I
don't-
want to think. I think St. Charles is knocking it out of the park on everything else.
St. Charles County, though, Eric, is becoming more and more liberal all the time.
I don't disagree with that at all.
All the time. It's really crazy when you think about it. And all of the St. Charles County mayors, remember that, Lizzie, not too long ago?
I do.
When they were, a couple of them voted for HUD and what was it, Darden Prairie?
Darden Prairie was the only mayor that didn't.
That did not.
do
That's
it.
correct.
Why would you vote for HUD?
Well, you wouldn't,
understand the
you
money
wouldn't
aspect.
want to. Well, that is what it is. It's the mayors, and I'm not dishing the mayors. I love almost every one of them, but this is one thing I disagreed with them is they're allowing more HUD in.
And it's these apartment buildings being
Correct.
built.
Yeah. HUD is a toxic thing. It is.
It is
I'm
toxic. It
sorry.
ruins neighborhoods.
I'm sorry. HUD. There's places for HUD, and there's places where
Mhm.
HUD needs to go, but there's also places that you aspire to live, and you don't want to be around a lot of HUD. Now, I'm not saying that HUD's not a great thing. It is a great thing.
It's used for nefarious purposes. And that's what's happening in St. Charles County, allegedly, at least in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinion, is that all these big new apartment buildings that are being built, a lot of them are now, even though they might be $2,000 or $3,000 an apartment, they're allowing Section 8 housing because they're trying to diversify. And I don't mean by race, by economics and by voting. And they're
But you
bringing
have
more
to-
liberal voting
Time out,
in.
but you have to say who's doing that, Tabitha.
That would be the local mayors.
Okay. The local conservative
We already
mayor.
said that. The
Okay.
local
Conservative mayors. Well,
okay,
like
so
Eric,
you're saying the local conservative mayors want
They voted on it.
Let me finish. You're saying that local conservative mayors in St. Charles County Conservative mayors want Democrats to come into their cities to turn their conservative cities liberal.
Yes.
Do you not realize what you just said?
I do, but it's true.
It sounds bizarre, doesn't it?
It sounds bizarre, but it's true.
It's true. And
Tabitha,
I do
know builders, and I'm just going to tell you something right now. I'm not going to say what you said is wrong. I'm just going to give you my own fact. I know builders, and builders are trying to make money because there's not a lot of homes that are going up. But guess where the money to be made is right now? It's building these, as you referred to, HUD/apartment
Correct.
complexes, because that's what people can afford.
Okay, these are the
There's
builders.
so much money to be made
That's
for
true.
builders
That is true.
who are building it. I find it difficult to believe that conservative mayors want liberals.
Well,
to
they
come in
voted on it.
and
I
take
agree with
them out.
Tabitha.
Yeah.
I agree
It's
with
a fact.
Tabitha.
They voted on it.
Tabitha, I'm
All
with
but
you.
Darden Prairie, they
No,
all voted on
There's
it.
some very, very
did
weird
they,
stuff going on.
why did they vote on it?
Money.
Money.
It's money. It's
always
not
money.
that they want liberals. They want money.
It doesn't matter. They're taking.
Yes, it does. You're saying
they're
they did
selling
it just for
themselves.
liberals.
Listen, they're selling themselves out. They're selling their
did-
soul
they might
to
be
diversify
Well, they
their
might be selling their
cities
soul.
over money. They're bringing in liberal voters, is what they're doing.
You mean
by
as a-
agreeing to
She's right,
Section
Vic,
8.
she's right.
as an indirect deal?
Well,
they
the
are.
indirect-
It's not indirect because they know what it's going to do,
It's
and they're
indirect,
doing it
and-
anyway.
Well, and
And-
it's
I
been
call
for
that
years.
direct.
Eric and I lived in this subdivision that we've talked about with the same house. That subdivision used to be like the Ladue of St. Charles
did.
County.
This is all about money.
Well, it is about money. And so, but that neighborhood completely changed and has
Yes,
never been
it can.
rebounded when they put apartments next to the pool complex that went Section 8. And now that subdivision
Well, guess
is no
what?
longer
Guys,
that great.
Brings down property
Guys,
values.
Let me bring you to reality. Guess what? They're being built, and they're going to continue to be
They
built.
are. You're right.
Because the builders want to make money and the mayors want to make money. It's about money, 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 money. It's not going to stop.
And that's why
anytime.
crime is up in
It's
St.
not gonna
Charles
stop
County.
anytime soon.
It's why crime is up in St. Charles County.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say this, because when I first moved to St. Charles County, I know firsthand. I moved to those beautiful Trace apartments. I paid $2,000
Mhm.
for a little apartment. And I'll tell you what, the person in the building, not in my building, but the building next to me,
Yes.
was a hooker, a prostitute. In the back building, a couple
it's got-
buildings behind me,
It's
there were
recreational.
there were drug
Oh,
addicts.
yeah, I know the place.
Yeah.
Right
It's
And-
one of the amenities.
This is a beautiful apartment complex. There were people dealing drugs in the back parking lot. People were breaking into the building. And this was a very expensive, if anybody knows what it is, it's a beautiful apartment complex.
This isn't just in the
Beautiful.
St. Charles area. These happen. This is
Everywhere.
happening all across.
But
the
St.
country.
Charles,
it
hold on,
brings
Vic.
crime
Hold on,
to
Vic.
the
but,
county.
But I retract my statement of St. Charles is knocking it out of the park, because I did listen to Tabitha and I listened to Lizzie. They're right. This HUD thing is going to kill some communities. It is going.
It killed my apartment complex. I moved.
In time,
I
will.
retract, and I think it's time that we talk to an Elman, and I think it's time that we talk to a who's the guy in St. Peter's? What's his name?
Len Pagano.
Pagano, and we say, what are you guys doing exactly? You're building these multi-million-dollar apartments, and you're sucking in
Are they supposed to tell these
Yes.
builders you can't build in our communities?
a Section 8. Well,
You're forgetting.
hold on.
I agree with
Scotty's
you guys,
having a
but you have to look at
nervous
the full
laughing
story.
breakdown in
Here's the deal, because
production room.
Tabitha's right. A $2,000 a month nut on Tabitha's apartment is countered by a apartment that is being rented for $400 and subsidized to someone who can't afford the $2,000.
Well, and
nut.
it's the people that it brings in. In my case, I was one of the first people who moved to this apartment complex. So when I moved there was nobody there but me and like two other people. And then all of a sudden we have hookers and some guy naked running around the parking lot.
This is what I'm
drug
laughing
deals.
about. Do you remember the scene? You guys remember the movie?
There's hookers and people running around naked in my neighborhood, and I live in Creve Coeur Ladue.
You guys have seen the movie Tommy Boy, right?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, there's the older couple. They're sitting in the board meeting, and the old lady's sitting there, and she goes, "And that's when the horrors come in." and the whole time you guys are talking about this, I just hear this old lady's voice going, "And that's when the horrors."
Are
come
you
in."
that girl? Are you the
No, but kind of, yes. But let me tell you something about Section 8. And anyone who understands HUD and Section 8, the vouchers are given out to different people. It's not just by chance that they're given out.
Is it
They're-
fixable?
It's, you know what? It's all corrupt.
Is
It's
it
all a
fixable?
corrupt system. It's not fixable probably in our lifetime, but the people who get the HUD vouchers are the people who know someone. You have to know someone to get those vouchers. And unfortunately, sometimes it is the lowest folks in the barrel that end up getting these vouchers. It's such a crazy, corrupt system. I loved living at that apartment complex until they started renting these. I had these people literally living above me who were playing music all night long. I could smell pot all the time coming out of my
Yeah.
vents. And I finally called, because I don't like to complain. I finally called and be like, what's going on upstairs? And you know what they told me, the office? They
What's
said,
that?
well, we kicked them out because we found out that they used a
Pot's legal.
face. It wasn't then.
Yeah.
And because this was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But they said they kicked them out because they used a fake credit card, a stolen credit card, and they had 2 stolen cars out in the parking lot.
What?
This was in Weldon Spring, for God's sake.
I know. I hear you, girl. I retract my St. Charles is knocking it out of the park statement until further notice.
And that's when the whores come in. And
I love that, Scotty.
And you know what? I'm as socially. I don't know what word is I'm looking for, but I'll tell you what. When I moved to Seattle, I know I didn't live in the Ladue of Seattle. I lived in the artsy fartsy place what I could afford. And there are people that legitimately save their entire life to live in St. Charles County because that's what they have aspired to do. They buy a house there, they raise their family
Wait,
there.
wait, can you repeat that? You said that there are people who aspire to live in St. Charles
Yeah,
County.
dude,
They
what-
do.
are you
They
high?
do.
Have you
Especially
seen
at the
Wentzville,
whores.
Missouri
I just-
lately?
For sure.
I
Have you
just wanted
seen
you to
Dardine Prairie lately?
Uh-huh.
I
Have you
just wanted you
seen?
to say it again.
Have you
That's
seen
all I
the
wanted you
streets
to
of
say.
St. Louis or
Because
St.
there's
Charles
people who
lately?
need
Yeah.
to hear that.
And that's why they're targeting. And I'm saying I am saying the larger government, not our mayors, the larger government across. It doesn't
Lizzie,
matter.
who's the larger government?
The shadow government, the people,
Who's the shadow
puppet
government?
master.
the puppet masters that tell.
Lizzie, who are they? Who are they're okay? Then what are
It
they
would be
doing?
like Obama. Okay. It would be like Obama and his people and like the big named people. And I don't want to say it because I'm afraid this will go down. But a lot of people know what I'm talking about. There is a bigger picture here. St. Charles County, I totally agree with Eric. Everyone aspires to live here because it's like Mayberry, or it used to be like Mayberry, and it's so red. Well, people that are the shadow government want to turn all over the United States, these Mayberry type towns, to take them from red then to purple, and they're
Oh,
doing
she's speaking.
gradually.
She's
preaching over here.
Yeah, we're all on the same
gradually.
page on that.
She's preaching.
It's a lot of it's BlackRock because you look
It
what we
is,
look at
correct.
how often we've talked about them buying all of these houses, paying 20% over
Yes.
to buy every house in certain neighborhoods, as many as they can get, and then they turn them into rental property because they don't want you to own homes.
Well, let me tell you guys something.
And Tabitha just took a swing and put it over the fence.
She
That's
did.
exactly
And
right.
let
Right out of
me-
the ballpark.
And
Yeah.
let me remind everybody, if it's quote these shadow governments, shadow people,
That's where we need Elliot
Guess-
Davis. Don't
guess
quote. Don't
what
put
they
quotes up.
guess what they have to do.
What do they have to do?
Things aren't being built. Buildings are not being put up without your conservative construction owners. Because I'm telling you right now,
They don't care.
They don't
They don't
care.
live
They
in
don't
St.
care.
Charles.
Now let's. If you guys really want to go down this rabbit hole, then you need to look at all the details. I'm a detail guy. I'm just telling you, the guys building the construction, they're hardcore concern because I know these guys. They're hardcore Republicans.
They will put
okay?
up their $1 million
That's what
building
I'm
in
saying.
St. Charles.
But
if they
they're
live in
not. But they
Chesterfield.
don't. The builders. I know some of those builders too. The builders. They're not going to say, "Well, I'm not going to build those apartment complexes."
Thank you.
'cause
Now you're
liberals
making my-
might move in.
That's now
But
you're
it's not-
making my
but
point
this
for
is-
me.
Bill,
And
but
that's
this is-
when the
off base.
liberals move in.
This has nothing
think
to
you're off
do
base, Vic.
with builders.
A
It has
little bit.
nothing to
I
do
think you're off base.
with builders. Builders are doing the job they're hired to do. Builders
Exactly.
aren't responsible for letting
You guys
Section
said
8
this
in.
is part of the
No.
But
plan.
they don't
It is part-
care.
It
It's-
is
hold
not,
on.
not builders. It's part of the
Somewhere in here is the truth.
mayors and
Somewhere in
the
here is the
councils
truth.
That's a
and-
good point, Eric.
Somewhere in here is the truth. I think that incompetent Republican leaders, Len Pagano's a Democrat, and I do think he's
Yeah,
done a good job with St.
exactly.
Peters. I think he's done a
'Cause
good
it's-
job with
it's
St.
not a
Peters.
Yes, our
conservative
mayors,
mayor.
our mayors are great. Well, I don't
He's
think
a Democrat
Lebagano.
mayor.
But-
Len
and he
Lebagano's a
voted for
Democrat.
Section 8 housing in his city.
Not
But-
a Republican, a Democrat.
But
And so did all the
here's
Republicans.
the deal. Here's the untouchable thing you have to talk about. You're right. What we're saying here is true. A $2,000 apartment for Tabitha is a $400 apartment for some family from Mexico or an illegal situation. That's a HUD program as well.
We got to find housing for
Not
all
in
the
St.
Yes, you
Louis.
do.
illegals.
Yes, you do. Yes, you
Mhm.
do. So you have to be able to. You have to be able to honestly, in your mind, and I talk about sources in your own mind, say, why is this a good thing for the community? And if you say there's a family that can afford $2,500 for a condo, yet these guys are paying $400 and have all their friends over smoking pot at night and stealing cars in the parking lot,
And we're stealing drugs in the
is
parking
that a
lot,
good thing?
bringing crime into
But
your
it-
neighborhood.
One thing I'll say to you, and
We're
this is
making mass generalizations.
assumptions. Yes, we are. Here's
But
not
we're
an-
making true mass
Here's not an assumption.
generalizations.
Some people, not
Here's not an
everybody,
assumption,
Tabitha.
Most.
Vic. Back in
Most.
2001, don't laugh. Back in 2001, there was this place called Time Center in St. Charles. It was a great apartment complex.
I remember
Do you remember those?
Yeah, I do.
It was like the high-rise
Yes.
condos of St. Charles. It was beautiful.
Yeah,
it was
baby.
nice. They went to Section 8.
They did.
And guess what it's known as now? It's known as Crime Center.
That's
sure
right.
is.
It's been branded that for a reason.
Where's that located?
It's right
St.
off
Charles City.
Right, St. Charles City.
It's St. Charles City.
At night, you
Okay,
used to be
thank
able.
you.
At night, at midnight, you used to be able to stop at the Quick
I
Trip.
know exactly what you're talking about.
You used to be able to stop at 12 o'clock midnight over there at the Quick Trip and get whatever you were going to get, leave, and not think about it. Now you need an armed police escort to go in that
That's
place.
right. And they have
That's
and they have
true.
shootings over there
That's
all the
true.
time.
They do.
And I'm not saying everybody on Section 8
this
is
is one of
bad.
those things where you can maybe quantify it, but it's sometimes there's a point where you have to use your brain. And if you're the mayor of these places, St. Charles, Elman, I guess is who I'm talking to, you have to be able to step back and go, wait a minute. What's going on here? Why is this happening? Is it a lot of Section 8 housing? Okay, we got to look at this then. And you have to honestly be able to look at these situations. Again, I talk about being an airplane pilot. If you see a mountain in front of you that's 20 miles away, you start to pull up at 20 miles away. You don't pull up at 500 feet. You're dead at that point.
But this is
And
why
I
people
think
are
that-
moving out of St. Charles.
And you might be right as well.
Yeah.
People tell me
Yeah.
it's not that St. Charles County is not far enough. It's not far
Yes.
enough.
Oh my
Wow.
God, you're
No,
Vic,
I-
she's
I'm
right.
here. She's
Vic.
100%
Vic.
right.
It's happening.
She is right.
Vic,
I'm pulling
She's
an
right.
Eric line. I need to see stats because you talk like the
Talk
old
to
grandma.
people.
I know. I talked to this person.
I don't
now."
sound like any.
Warrenton's
I
the
don't
next
sound like
boom.
an old grandma.
Yes,
Why?
Warrington is
Did you
the
hear what
next boom.
Scotty
I'm
just
telling
said?
the truth.
he's
It
right.
will
Did
be.
you hear what Scotty just said?
And then we have to define what a boom is.
I've been in Winsville.
What is a boom?
I've been in Winsville for 34 years.
Yes, you have.
And Warrenton is Winsville 20 years ago.
Correct.
That's right.
Yep. What?
Hands down.
What is a boom?
It's a lot.
Have you seen Winsville?
Development.
Yeah. No. Like what numbers are you
Development.
talking? We need.
Oh, like,
numbers.
no, I
We
don't
need
have
details.
exact
I mean, you're
numbers,
looking
yeah.
at 10% growth over a year, probably
People,
for the next
of course,
10 years.
are gonna.
Yeah.
If we look at
Yeah.
what's been happening in the last 30 years, of course, everything migrates west.
And
at
that's
least
why-
in the Midwest.
Because liberalism continues to progress, and
Great
as liberalism progresses, and now it's progressing into St.
Or
Charles
progressing.
County, whichever. We're going to have a revolt next, and
Revolt.
and so people are continuing to move outwards and continuing.
You
People-
guys are right.
That's why my
Sorry.
parents have been looking at houses in Steelville and
Yeah.
Farmington
Yeah.
because you can't get
Amen.
far enough away from the liberalism.
Did you tell me you
Well-
were looking at Northwest Arkansas? I just
No,
looked at
that
the
wasn't
lights
me.
and
You know
said
what the big thing
Northwest
for me
Arkansas
is
the
right
new
now?
St. Charles?
You know what the big thing for
What?
me is? I don't even look for houses anymore. I look for land.
Yes. Yes.
Did you know that?
Put your
And did
barndominium on it.
Hey, Liz, you know what?
I'm not making fun of
I'm
that.
not. I need you to not make fun of it because it's
Yeah,
the truth.
it is the truth.
Imagine a society where people are like, "Look, we are way too close to each other. I need 3 acres and I need a
space.
barn to daminium,
Yes.
which is easy to build. It might be a little bit cheaper, and it
Mhm.
gets me what Scotty just said, Warrington,
Yes.
or it gets me even farther.
Well, because you know what? I mean, I know that this is kind of taking it back, but it just pisses me off that these liberals move from wherever they're coming. And when they come over, they're leaving for the same reasons we
Yeah.
don't like. They don't like crime. They don't like this. They don't like, but they bring their damn policies with us,
True,
polluting our conservative God's country.
That's what's happening in St. Charles.
Lizzie,
100%.
Lizzie, get conservatives to go vote. There's more conservatives. If you get the conservatives
I
to vote,
agree.
you won't have to worry
You're
about
right.
it.
I agree.
But
You're
then
right.
you have to challenge this. But here's the thing. Again, we're 20 miles out from the mountain, like I just said. Do you have the balls to identify the problem and start pulling up on the yoke?
Well, Lizzie doesn't know. She doesn't.
Well,
have
you know,
that.
figuratively, Scotty, figuratively. All right,
Yeah.
the footballs.
Right.
So-
but that's the right word. You can call them, okay, girls maybe have cojones, guys have balls. But you have
cojones.
to have balls
Yeah.
to do all this.
And do you have the? Is it time that we start vetting people that are criminals coming into Section 8 HUD housing?
yes.
Well, they're supposed to
they're
already.
I
supposed
don't
to
think they
already
are,
do
Vic.
that.
I don't think
They're
they
supposed
do,
to
Vic.
already do that, but they
Vic.
don't. The HUD system is absolutely correct. I would love to have a HUD expert on someday. Absolutely a corrupt system in this area. I'm not saying it's that way in all areas. Not everybody
In
on
the state-
Section 8 is
in
bad.
I'll tell you one of the
state
weirdest.
in the state of Missouri, it 100%.
I'll tell you one of the
is.
strangest
There
things
is
I
so
ever
much
saw.
money, and it's a political game.
Yes, it is,
It's,
Rick.
we don't have enough time to get into it now, but
I used to live in this place called Linwood, Washington, and they had a HUD program there.
Mhm.
This started way back in the day. I wasn't under HUD. I was kind of like Tabitha, but they had this guy in this apartment it was at the end of the apartment. And one day I come home and there are about 40 cops and they're all in hazmat outfit. And they busted him for running a meth lab. But here's the kicker. He had been busted 5 times before for running meth labs, and he still wasn't. Seattle, Washington. He still wasn't in jail, and the HUD program let him back into an apartment, which almost contaminated and blew up the place with kids around. I mean, it's insane. So if you think that the HUD system is letting in well vetted people, you're absolutely out of your mind.
By the way, I love Chesterfield Mayor Bob Nation.
Yes.
He is wonderful.
He said, Tabitha, he doesn't disagree with you when you talk about local governments, but he wants you to please differentiate between local governments because he is in charge of a local government.
Oh, well, I love
He just
I love
texted-
Chesterfield, and I absolutely love
I love that he's listening.
love Bob
And by
Nation.
the way, I wanted to
And he is not one of those. He's actually
he's
fought
a wonderful mayor.
so hard for the city of Chesterfield. Think about this: when you're in
They've
Chesterfield,
got brand new housing going up.
There's
Condos
almost-
right across from Ruth Chris.
and there's almost no crime here. Never one time when I go to Annie Gunn's or Wenty's or any of these places do I ever worry about crime or my car getting broken into. I work at the theater here all the time. I love Chesterfield.
Couple quick. I've got to give
Okay,
these
go ahead,
updates
sorry.
real quick. Kevin Malutnik, one of the owners of Strategic Air Services, has coordinated. We are going to have Ric Flair on the show next week. He is going to join us live to talk all about cancel culture, how he effing hates it, how he effing thinks it's the worst thing that's happened to this country, which plays right in to our cancel culture education. Talk about being a conservative business owner, and he has a marijuana company, and he's got his. And
I don't know if you guys heard that off camera,
and
but
he's got what he calls his
Scotty said, "Yeah,
Scotty. He's got his woo chews. He's got woo chews.
woo choose. I need a woo chew."
So we thank Kevin for setting up Ric Flair for us. We'll let you know on Monday what day Rick is going to be joining cancelthisshow.com. And also Kevin's musician. We got Tara Lynn Pfister and Tori Allen tonight at Main Street Honky Tonk.
Nice.
We know we have a national audience, but that's in the St.
Maybe
Charles area
one of the
downtown.
That is
busiest
a new
bars.
place.
One of the
Yes.
busiest bars down in the.
If
on
you want to
Main
go,
Street.
Kevin will come pick you up in the jet. And we'll
Yeah.
bring you into town. and
Oh,
there you
that's
go.
an awesome
8:30 p.m. tonight. Tara Lynn Pfister, Tori Allen
Nice.
performing. So I needed to get those out for
Kevin's
him. So,
buying everybody the first round, by the way.
Yeah. We'll see where it goes.
And we need one of you guys on the stage to tell the Chesterfield folks to vote yes for Prop U.
Yes.
Thank you
yes.
for bringing that back up again, promoting Proposition U, business owners of essentially a 1%. If you want to call it a tax, they don't think it's a tax, call it a tax, however you want to do that. But that election's coming up April 4th.
Yes, it is.
I'm telling you what, business owners in Chesterfield and anywhere around the country jump into these taxes because, like, wait, it's 1%, $1 for $100 shoes, so that we have an equal playing field, so that local businesses can survive. And by the way, Prop U in Chesterfield, they don't have property taxes.
Yeah.
Could you no property tax? You don't want a property tax, trust
No,
me.
trust me.
And no
you
property
don't.
tax is
Wonderful.
coming. They
No.
pretty much assured you of that as long as they can get this thing passed.
And when people hear, "Oh, I need to vote for more taxes," oh my gosh, I'm not voting for more taxes, but you're actually voting for less taxes because when you
Yes.
vote yes for Prop U, that means you're only affected if you don't shop local. You know what? Shop local. You don't have to pay those extra taxes. And B, you're actually saving yourself money because if the money doesn't come in
Yeah.
through Prop U, guess
Mhm.
where it's coming from? Metrolink.
Yep.
It could come in from.
Ugh.
It could come in from property taxes. Maybe they'll have to start
Sorry.
charging property taxes. It's a big deal.
I know.
I wish I had the option to not pay property taxes and instead vote for Prop U.
Yeah.
I don't have that option in
Man,
my
there's
neighborhood.
there's
Well said,
consequences for
Tabitha.
everything. There's consequences for everything. What our government and our local leaders might have thought was a great idea turned out to be a crappy idea.
Metrolink?
Well, Metrolink to the Galleria. I listened.
It destroyed.
I listened to
destroyed the
Tabitha
Galleria.
about that 2 years ago, and I was like, Tabitha, you're nuts.
Like 2.5 years
But man,
ago.
she's dead on accurate about that.
I wish you would say that. Will you record that, Scotty? And play that every single day? Because as much as Eric doesn't believe anything I say right now, in 2 years, he's going to be saying the same thing. When you're sitting in your fallout shelter from Russia bombing us with the nuke, you're going to be like, Tabitha was right 2 years ago.
Tabitha, I never say.
But I don't know where she is. She's probably off with her militia somewhere.
If you want to run
You're gonna
back
be in
any
a
of these
camp,
shows,
a concentration camp.
Maybe.
If you want to run back any of these shows, I have never on this show said Tabitha was wrong. Did I?
Every day,
yes,
a few times.
I mean, yes, I have.
Every day, a few
Anyways,
times.
yes, I have.
You
All right,
just went a little too
what I
far.
really meant by that is that I would love for us to drag sources in. Because Dan Bongino did something crazy the other day too. He started bringing up guns on his show and Revolution, all that stuff. And I'm like, I go, man, that just kind of perpetuates the fear mongering a little bit, and I
Eric,
don't like it very
I
much.
used to be on a radio show, and I'm not there anymore, and that's why I'm here, because I was told on this prior radio
But
show.
anyway, that was my
But I know,
way
but
to
can I-
apologize to you.
Thank you, but I want to explain this because I was on a prior radio show, and the reason why I left that show is because the people who owned that show told me that from now on, we're not opinion radio. We are fact-based radio. If you come in and you talk about something, you have to have the facts, the facts to back it up. You have to have a source for every
I like
single
that.
thing. And I said, I'm not going to do that.
I like that.
I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to come in here every day and say, well, Fox News said, well, blah, blah, blah. Because I'll tell you what, I know more than Fox News does because I'm telling you the truth.
Maybe tomorrow, Vic Faust, who has been in the news business for many years, can tell us why having sources is so important.
And you know what, Vic? Yesterday, somebody on private messaged me about you and said, you do such a great job moderating all the different personalities, keeping it on focus. And you can tell that, not that any of the rest of us aren't lovely, but you're the most professional and have to deal with so much. Well,
I have to deal with so much.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, apparently that's somebody who does not like the show. But
Hell yes.
But
Thank
Vic
you.
is
I
the
accept that.
show.
Thank
Vic
you.
is a good moderator. Eric, tomorrow, since you're the one who wants sources so bad,
Sources are
I
good,
can't
but
recall you
it's a gray
ever
area.
talking about anything you had a source for. So how about we play a game tomorrow? And then
let's do play a game. Let's play a game.
And so
Touche.
I love
I hate myself all of a sudden.
So tomorrow, every single thing you
Yes.
say
Yes.
and everything I say,
Yes.
let's have a source for it just for a game.
A source war. I like it.
Just
Should I
a
bring in
game.
a whiteboard and keep count?
And,
Yes.
and if
Yes.
you
I'm gonna
don't
bring it in.
if you
Yes.
don't have a source, you can't discuss it.
I love
Every
it.
statement you make,
Yes.
I want you to say brought to you by Newsmax,
No.
brought to you by
You can
blah,
even
blah,
say
blah.
brought to you by Eric.
And this would
That's
be the
your
most
catch.
boring show on the
Brought to you
planet.
by-
That's why I'm shaking my head. No, this is not
It
happening.
would be the most boring show because you wouldn't be able to talk,
It's not
period,
happening.
because you don't even read the
Oh,
news.
snap. Did you just say I wouldn't be able to talk?
You'd be like Colbert
I
said,
read the
and
footnote-
Bongino
I
said.
read the
By the-
footnotes before I read anything else, okay?
By the way, tomorrow we're gonna on our special content. We're gonna talk about the TikTok, the Biden administration that brought up. We'll do that in our special content right after the show that we'll be putting out. But tomorrow we are going to talk about something that Tabitha was way ahead of everybody else on. All of a sudden, Fox News, well, they're following Tabitha again when it comes to our kids being introduced to eating insects.
Right.
You heard it here first on this podcast with Tabitha in our first month. And it's now getting more steam in regards to stories being covered. Tomorrow we'll get into a story that in Utah where
It's coming.
Kids are they're trying to get kids to sample insects.
The alternative protein.
In Utah?
It's in Utah.
Yeah,
Of all
disgusting.
places, freaking Utah. Not California, not New York,
I'll
not New
sample
Hampshire.
it. I'll give it a shot.
And
Whatever
the
it is.
reason being is because cows are bad.
That's right.
God's cows, they're bad. They're killing the
There will be no
environment.
farms. There will be no cows. There will be no more chickens. They're getting rid of all of our farming, all of our livestock because they don't need them anymore. We're all going to be eating bugs and we're going to like it.
And we're working on our financial advisor for
Eric's
tomorrow
looking at me
as
like,
well.
what?
It's like our music.
Eric's like, where's your
Our
source?
music turned into bugs a long time ago.
Hey, Eric, and I don't know if you saw this on the chat line, but if you're going tonight to the thing at the family arena,
Yes.
one of the listeners, Cindy, is going to save you a seat.
Oh, I love Cindy.
And a beer.
So there, Eric, you can go to the
Yes.
family arena. You can go down to Honky Tonk Main Street.
You can do both
There you
tonight.
go.
They're right there. They're right
And go
next to each
Mizzou,
other.
MIZZOU 1240. They start the NCAA tournament today.
Got your bracket done?
Got my Tigers. Go Houston. They're
You got
gonna
your
win it
Tigers
all.
going all the way to the
Well,
Final Four?
I got the Houston Cougars winning it all. I got my Tigers winning today. There you go.
Who do they play today?
They play Utah State.
Oh, yeah.
And they're an underdog. 7 is a 7 seed. Okay. Scotty Gherkin, Lizzie Sparks, Eric Johnson, Tab the Hassel, Vic Faust. Thanks for joining us today, guys. It is Cancel This. Please go check out the show. Check out all of our partners. Promote it. We appreciate it. And we'll catch you tomorrow for another edition of Cancel This. Have a great day.